Happy Thursday, family. I hope you can all hear me. Welcome in. I hope everyone has had an amazing week. Y'all have to excuse, I don't know what my laptop is doing, but it is deciding not to cooperate properly today. So I can't give you the normal intro that we normally would give you. But in any event, welcome in. How is everyone? Come on in, hit that thumbs up, say hello, greet us, let us acknowledge your presence. We are glad you are here. It is Thursday night here on the Bravo Sheila Network, and I am who your Thursday night host, Lady Dawn B, here to engage in amazing conversation with you, and you. So I hope you brought a friend along with you tuning in, because we look forward to seeing you right here in this space. So, as always, we appreciate your presence and we want you to know that we are here not as experts. This is not therapy, this is not counseling, it's not any of that. But we are here to have great conversation and dialogue with one another so that we can grow, so that we can become more than what we are, and so that we can show up in our spaces of relationships way better than we ever have been before, right? So on tonight, we want you to lean in, chime in, don't be shy, because it's Thursday night. Y'all already know how we get down on Thursdays. So there is no need to be shy at all. We want you to comment, we want you to engage. And our number one rule here on Thursday nights or on the Bravo Sheila Network is that we do everything with what? Respect. So with that being said, whatever your moral compass is, we welcome it. We appreciate it, and we want you to share. We don't have to agree, but we do have to respect one another, right? I was going to say amen like we in church. So we don't have to agree, but we do have to respect each other. So in the event that any disrespect is found in the comment section or on the platform, unfortunately, but fortunately, our amazing moderator, the Anae Kenya, who will welcome you in, she will have to escort you out as well. So we run a pretty tight ship here when it comes to respect and with keeping the integrity of our channel. And we want everyone to be able to share in a safe space. So again, we welcome you to share whatever your moral compass is. We invite you to share it with us. Matter of fact, we're looking to hear what you have to say. With that being said, of those of you who don't know and those of you who do, as I always say, I'm a God's girl, so you're going to get a little Jesus when you get me every single time. So that's my moral compass. But this is not a Christian-based network. We are here to have conversation, though most of us on the panel that come on are believers. So when you hear us sharing, if we're referring to what our moral compass is. With that also being said, again, everyone's thoughts, feelings, opinions are welcome here. So we come to have great conversation. I'm going to get it together, y'all. I'm a little thrown off tonight. I don't know what's happening, but we're going to get it together. So anyway, we are about to get into some good dialogue on tonight. Happy Valentine's Day to all of you. Valentine's Day is Saturday. Today's Thursday, right? So you still got a little time to find you a Valentine. Still got a little time. But we want to say happy Valentine's Day. And we wanted to have this amazing conversation. There she goes, the greatest moderator to ever do it in these YouTube streets. In the person of Anae Kenya is in the building. And as she welcomes you in again, just keep in mind that any disrespect that may be found, she will also have to escort you out. So when you come in, please hit that thumbs up button. Please come in, say hello. We want to acknowledge you. And to those of you who are up in the silent section, as we call it, the expensive seats, we welcome you in tonight too. We tell you, come on down to the comment section. It is safe down here. And we have security, so don't worry. You'll be all right. So tonight's conversation is about love. Of course, in this month we are talking and sharing as February, is based around love for a lot of people. And with Valentine's Day coming up, we wanted to just touch on a topic of what's love got to do with it. Let's see what we all say. Because it seems that the foundation of some relationships are no longer based around love, but some are based around like it's like a business transaction, like a bartering system. Like, let's negotiate terms to see, um, how this benefits me instead of benefiting us. And back in the day, they used to say love was all we need. We can live off of love, and love conquers all. And I don't know that people really feel that way now. And it doesn't seem that the foundation again of relationships is showing up in that way. So with that being said, I'm going to pull up our squad so we can get into this conversation. They'll be falling in and coming in throughout the show. But I'm going to do this because I am about to bring up, you know what? I'm just going to bring her up and then I'm going to do it. She is, as we always say, America has their sweetheart and the Bravo Sheila Nation has ours. She is the amazing, the phenomenal. She is an HR expert. She is an author. She is an entrepreneur. She is a sister girl. She is a sister friend. She's just that chick all around. She's about her business and she holds it down. She's always dropping jewels, gems, and nuggets. So I hope that you pick them up and put them in your pocket. That's right. You know her, you love her, and if you don't, you will. She is in the person of our coach Theo is in the house. Welcome in tonight, sis. How are you?
Hey, sis. Good evening, everyone.
How's it going?
It's going okay. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm all right. I don't know what's happening with my laptop though, but I'm all right. It's just going crazy. But you know what we do? Listen, I'm just keeping, me. I keep it real. Ain't no secrets here. Listen, y'all. I don't know what it's doing. It's just doing what technology does. All right. So please don't blame me. Don't. But we here. That's all we know is that we here. We're doing it, and we are here for what? L'amour, for love. So before we get into this conversation, I said, let me bring her up first because I know that she loves when I do this. I know she absolutely does. If you could see her sometimes backstage and she is just smiling and shining when I do this right here. So this is for you because I love you, sis. This is how we're going to do it tonight. So tonight, on this very mic you're about to hear, we swear, the best podcast of the year. So, cheerio, yell, scream, what? Bravo! Also, if you didn't know, this is Dawn B, the Thursday Night Squad show. Okay, that's how we do it. I told you I'm gonna do it every Thursday all year long.
You need sisters that are going to be just as silly as you are.
Absolutely, absolutely. By the time the end of the year come, y'all gonna be sick of me. I'm like, girl, like we know. Nah, y'all gonna get with it. Y'all gonna get with it. Y'all be popping off with me. Y'all gonna get it and
Hey,
do it.
hey.
Yes, she is saying, "Hey, Theo." Oh, and we have Harlem Girl in the house.
Yes.
Ladies, hey, sis, how are you? What's popping? What's good? Glad you chimed in. Glad you're joining us. So, as we are preparing for, in my head, see, I was going to say Thanksgiving. Why am I saying Thanksgiving? It is not. It is not. I
Listen,
need
we're
to
going to take
start.
us through the end of the year already. Come on now. Slow down.
Well, November's my birthday month, so maybe I'm just
Yeah,
anxious to.
can we get to April and then you skip to November?
In my head, I surely was. I was about to do that. Thanksgiving is. It is not. It is not. This is the day I'm having. Name it is not November, y'all. It is February, and we are embarking upon Valentine's Day. That's what I'm trying to say. Saturday is Valentine's Day. Are y'all ready? Anybody got a Valentine? What are your plans? Put it in the chat. Let's have a little chit chat before we get into the chitter chatter. Our topic tonight is what's love got to do with it.
Mm.
I don't know. I'm like excited and I don't know how to act. So, how do you feel about Valentine's Day, sis?
I
What do you
mean,
have?
well, you know what I'm actually doing on Valentine's Day. So I have a friend that I met down here. She's from the New York area as well.
Okay.
Really cool. And she is a caretaker for her mom. So I am going to sit with her mom so her and her husband can go out on Valentine's.
Okay, that's nice. That's what's up. I love that. See, we can love in many different ways. We can
Mhm.
show love so that other people can take a moment to reflect and receive and give some love. But that's beautiful. How
Yes.
about you guys in the chat? Anybody have any amazing Valentine's? Well, even if it's not amazing, well, anything you do is going to be amazing. So,
Mhm.
let us know what you're doing. How do you feel about Valentine's Day? Me, um, I still have I have one day to find a Valentine. Still have
Okay. Be your own Valentine.
I'm always my own Valentine. You already know that every day.
Exactly.
You know you're loving on me every day. I need no reason. Okay, none
Exactly.
of it.
That's my
Just
thing.
because I woke up. Open these beautiful brown eyes of mine, okay, that is planted in this caramel skin, and I am happy about it. Like, girl, you did it again. Yes, you did. So come on here. I always am going to love on me every day.
Yes.
But see, I was joking. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna put it. I have applications available. If anyone would like to be my Valentine on Saturday,
So
you
how
can.
so how do these people fill out your application?
I haven't figured that out yet. But I have it. I have one. I have it just in case. If I'm just saying. Um, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
because we're not going to talk about you calling me out on Facebook in the Dilly Dally group. Don't think I didn't see that.
oh my goodness, I don't know what she's talking about. I don't. Um.
Sending you much love, sis. Sending you much love. I know that's hard.
Oh, it's a troubling day for me, my mother. Okay, understandable. You know what? That is hard. That is a hard thing to recalibrate. You know. Um. So yes, we sending you much love, and but you take your time. I would just say take your time, and just one thing I would, maybe if I may, maybe suggest.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
it
yes.
might be a good day to find. I always say when people pass, like it's about finding a new normal because nothing is ever going to be the
Mhm.
same, you know. And sometimes, like when my dad's birthday comes up, I have a habit of going to get his favorite food, which is like egg foo young, and he liked cake from this particular bakery in the Bronx that like me and my brothers and sisters absolutely hated, but it's like little things like that I felt to do just to honor him and to remember him, and to it helped me to
Mhm.
still express the love, which helped to, I would say, kind of heal the grief.
Yeah,
So
I eat ice cream because my dad loved ice cream. So I eat ice
yeah. So it's like maybe, when you're ready, and everybody's timing is different, but what would you have been doing if your mom was here, or how would you like to celebrate her? She said, I see it as God took her on the day of love, so it's bittersweet. And I get it. I get it. Hopefully it's more sweet than bitter, but
Yes.
that's a real thing, and it's a real process that you have to go through. So, just take one step at a time and just
Mhm.
embrace it. Where you can find the joy, find it, keep it, hold on to it. And before we go further, listen, y'all, I am excited because the men folks is coming in the
Oh,
building. And so
good.
this conversation is gonna be amazing. Um, okay, she said more sweet now. All right, that's what we like. A
Good.
little bit at a time, let yourself through the process, as you should so choose. No one rushing you through your journey, not at
That's
all.
it.
And if they try to tell them come see me. I'll take care of them for you. Don't worry about it. I
Hmm.
got you. Um,
Yes, for
but
sure.
the men folk are starting to fold into the room. So I want to bring to the stage before we get into this conversation. One of my favorite faves. I'm trying not to be biased, but I can't help it. It is what it is. Y'all know me. I keep it real. And you haven't heard him up on the panel for a minute, but you've heard him in the comments. Yes. Tell me where they at. Don't even worry. I got your light work for you. You just continue on in your process. You tell them, come see me. If they won't let you do grief your way and growth your way, I got you. I got you. Promise I do. All right. So he has a strong voice. I tend to refer to him as the voice of God. I don't care what he's reading. It could be the alphabet. It could be counting, to 10 or 1,000. It doesn't make me any difference at all. I don't care what he's saying pretty much. As long as he's talking, I'm good. But it's a blessing because what comes out of his mouth is always wisdom. It is always something to be iron that sharpens iron. And I have heard bitter words spoken sweetly out of his mouth. I'm going to cut it out. But y'all know him. Y'all love him. I know I do. And I'm absolutely biased. So I'm just telling y'all what it is. He is Moose B. Strand, also known as Moses.
Oh. Oh my God!
Hey, family.
Hey,
How you doing,
Hey.
it's so good to see you.
It is so good to see you both. I love you. It's good to see you guys. Hey,
Y'all see why I'm so excited? The voice of God is in the building.
Yes.
man. It's a blessing to be here.
Yeah.
And,
I love it.
Valentine's weekend too.
Yeah. Look at that.
Come on, let's get right now. We're gonna get this love thing right. We're not playing with it no more. Okay, it's time out for the nonsense, tomfoolery, and shenanigans.
Yes.
That's right. No more.
Hopefully through this conversation we will help some people and even help ourselves first of all, because I realize there's some things that I still got some things. It's one thing when you do your work on your own, but you don't know how good your work is or how strong it is or how stable it is until you actually put it into practice with someone else. And I always say this quite often. Like I think I'm the greatest date ever. Like I'm amazing, but that's me. And that's in my eyes. But when you actually go out with someone else and you are engaging with someone else and you are conversing with someone else, sometimes your amazement, the amazement that you think you are might be, sometimes we got to bring it down a little bit because they're not going to respond to you the way that you respond to you. Like they actually have their own thoughts, feelings, and opinions, that they share. And so it's like, oh, well, I don't know if I was really ready for you to say that. Or, oh, I don't really know if I like that you said that. Now, and it doesn't make you a bad person, you know what I mean? But it's like, okay, so the problem really isn't you. Apparently the problem is me. Like, okay. So I gotta fine tune this thing. So I'm like, amazing. I'm just a little flawed. I just need a little tune up. I know it's not just me. It can't be. It can't. Is it just me, y'all?
I mean,
No, it's not just you.
I don't think it's just you. I mean, for me, like, if they get past the cup of coffee, because, my first date is usually, let's meet at the coffee shop. Because that way I don't have to wait for dinner and dessert. Like, if it ain't going well,
See, well, it is.
I'm out when the coffee is.
I don't even know that I'm getting to the coffee stage. I'm kind of stuck dilly-dallying, but I'm kind of stuck on just in conversation. I feel like I'm not taking nothing personal. I'm just like nothing. I'm like,
I think for me, when there's like a balance and an even flow of conversation, right, it kind of is more meaningful. Like it, I try not to do too much talking. Right? Like I will talk, but I want to give the person room to share as well and not overtalk them and not make it all about me. So, I think there has to be a even exchange of information.
I'm with that. I mean, I have to honestly say, I do have amazing conversation. I've realized though, I think in a way, I'm so numb or maybe neutral, like just so unbothered, because I feel like I've heard it all before. Like it's all the things that it's like, okay, and you have deep conversation, because I could talk to some people for hours, like, and we just flow in conversation. But when that switch from the basic conversation that is flowing to like the personal side of that pursuing in relationship, and you're trying to mix energy, I realize the issue is probably me. Like, I feel like you got to work with me through friendship. I'm starting to really, I mean, I'm big on friendship anyway, inside any relationship. Like, we got to be friends, but I think I struggle. Oh Lord. And see, now my mama's here. She about to talk. She's going to tell on me. She's going to tell. Welcome in, mommy. How are you? She says, good evening, everyone. Just stopped by to say, have a good show studying. Okay, good. So she won't be here to tell on me. Good. Because, she swears they're like, you are so blonde when it comes to some things. And I'm like, I probably might miss it sometimes. But sometimes you just hear the same thing so much that you really do become numb to it, And so, like, leading into our topic about what's love got to do with it, I really feel like that love factor is missing in the foundation of building relationships these days. Like, that used to be one of the first things that people worked on, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. We're not one voice, one sound here. So, y'all tell me your experience, but I'm just telling you mine. That love mattered. Love made a difference. That you weren't just being with somebody to be with someone, but you really had intentionality, as Theo's favorite word is, about about what this relationship was going to be about. Not even so much that you were necessarily trying to make it last forever after the first date, but what happened to that kind of feeling that after the first date, you know what I'm saying? You're like, I can't wait to see this person again. Sometimes these days it feels like it's more of a business transaction than that personal engagement that goes on. And I'm a firm believer that whatever your foundation is in your relationship, that's what fuels the relationship, but it's not the only pieces of the relationship. But where we start at is the thing we're going to keep going back to, that's going to keep pulling us, like, so is it just me? Y'all share. Y'all tell me your thoughts. What do y'all think?
I mean, I don't know why what popped in my mind is love. Love's not Disney. I don't know why that popped in my mind. But I kind of feel like I think what has possibly changed the way people relate to one another is now the way people are meeting each other, right? Back in the day, we met somebody while we were out, whether you were out walking or in the park or in a social event or whatever. And now I think most people now are engaging with people via social media, right? And so I think that might have something to do with it, because some of it is real, some of it is not, right? You can't really tell what's the truth and what's not the truth and all of that. So I think that might have something to do with it. I think, I think it also depends on what the first date is like. Like for me, I want to do something. Like I'm not big on, first of all, like I said, usually the first date is coffee or something quick. But and remember, I've been on dates to the gym. Like, let's go to the gym, right? We work out and then afterwards hang out for a little while, right? But I like spaces where you get to like interact with one another, like bowling and playing pool or something like that, right? Some type of activity, because
those are my favorite person's
personality is, because I have a serious side to me, but I also have a side where I like to have fun, and I like to laugh, and I like to do stuff. So, I think that's it. But for me, the first date is, you getting to know someone, and I might leave it thinking, oh wow, I really had a great time, and I'm interested in seeing that person again, right? And then there are some times when I'm like, I don't know, like I might forget this number in my phone, right? So
you blocking it before the date is over. Yeah, I know, been there, done that one. What about you, Moose? What do you say?
I say, I'll try and cover a couple things. So for me, I think we forget that in today's day and age, due to the social media, due to a lot of things, right? Meeting and engaging is awkward for some people. There's a lot of awkwardness in this. This is why we have the concept of icebreakers, right?
mm-hmm.
So, I think it's a two-way prong, like I think if the guy is trying to break the ice, I think, and the girl, maybe she likes him, she should give him a little leeway with that, right? And help him break that ice, right? So, because it's probably awkward for her and it's probably awkward for him too. And there's expectations in these first meetings, which is wild, right?
Yeah.
Like we should probably go in with the mindset of like, whatever happens, happens, right? But we go in with all these expectations, right? So like, where is he going to take me? What is he going to do? Look, I'm 45. So there's a lot of things I've done. What's the chance of me going out, meeting somebody just for illustration purposes? They choose something that I haven't done before.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So like there's all these expectations that we have, and this person has to be and do something totally different, right? To gain me. Like that's, I think some of that is wild too. Don't get me wrong, there's place for it. But I think after getting to know you a little bit, right? After I get to know you, I can get an idea for what you really like, what you, maybe I can use my mind to surprise you a little bit, right? After I get to know you. So like, I like the coffee dates for the first dates, right? I like the little things, right? The simple things, where I can sit and get and talk to you and get to know you, figure you out. But I always give people chances because, like, again, there's a lot of awkwardness with that first one, And I'm straightforward, I'll talk about the awkward.
Yeah. But you know what I like that you said though, that was really made me think of something is the expectation that some, and I'm gonna say women, but it could be men too, have that the first date has to be elaborate, right? Like if he doesn't take me to an expensive restaurant or he doesn't show out, right? Like to me, that's crazy, right? Like you don't even know this guy, but you're expecting him to spend hundreds of dollars on you, right? And so that made me think of that.
And let's be real, Miss Steele, right? You could, in the midst of this man spending hundreds of dollars for this first engagement, you'd be like, nah, I don't like him.
Yep.
Right? Yeah. And it's expected. It's expected even by the next woman he's going to probably try to engage to go out for him to do the same thing. So I think that's wild. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I think for that to be the expectation, that's crazy. I think you put the person in a scenario where you don't have to expend so much in the beginning. So that way you can focus on getting to know each other. Because if everything is on that's taken away from y'all, and you don't even realize it.
You don't get to know them. Like I've been like on dates where we meet in the park, right? Take a walk, go for ice cream, go for like, because that gives you the chance to get to know someone. Like my expectation is, first of all, I could buy my own dinner, but but my expectation is not that on the first date you're taking me out
and take your car to be washed.
Elaborate dinner. You know.
You want the car wash. That's what you
Oh well, you know. After
Hey,
they
you
like
know
Mo
what?
said, after they get to know me, they'll know like, oh, that's something nice I could do for her. I could surprise her and take her to get her car washed.
Wait. I got an idea. If it's summertime, how about we wash the car together? You come out of your nice little jeans and bikini. I come out with something and we wash
okay.
the car.
Well, I could come out in the bikini, but do I have to help wash the car?
Well, you gotta get wet.
Well, listen, I'm good. I'll try anything. I just don't want to do the manual labor.
I'm just saying. I mean,
Rock with that.
It might be fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like that's, but I think that's the thing, right? It's getting that gives you the opportunity to get to know the person, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Cause then you get to figure out if I suggest this, is this person a person that has that type of fun, loving type of personality that they'll be down for that, or will they be like, oh no, I'm not doing that, you know? Because I might say I don't want to do the work, but I don't mind putting on a bathing suit and getting wet.
But you know what though? You know, I think like if you do things opposite, right, of what's expected, right, you can get different results. Because here's the thing, right, and this is for everybody who's in the dating world right now, right? Think of it like this: when you're meeting this person, male or female, right, you have to be mindful that they're giving you the application, right? Like, you know, when you go and apply for this job, you're putting the best or the future version of yourself on that application, right? So, and now you're out and you're looking, you're like, all right, boom. These dates are that application phase, you know? So you have to also walk through that to find out if this person is really who they say they are, you know? So you're not going to find that out in the first date, you know? Like the first thing you're going through in the first date is probably the physical and the chemistry aspect, right? That's what you're probably checking yes or no with, you know, but people can hit that box and still not be what they say they are. You know?
Because he could be fine as wine, but then open his mouth and you be like, oh man, you know. So, but you know what's funny is
it's true. It's true.
I'm taking notes, but it's been a minute since I've been on a date, so I'm taking notes. But I will say this is I joke around a lot with my friends, and I'm like, it will probably, like being an HR professional, it might be a whole, you know, we got the interview, and then we got the, you know, you got to meet other people because they gonna be part of the interview panel, right? Then we might have the 60 and the 90 day and the 120 day, you know, probationary evaluation.
Right, you got to go through the trial. Yeah, you got. Listen, there's a lot of hurdles you got to go through. It really is. It really is. I know for me, we have to do something fun on the first date. I can't do the whole long gone of the days are. I don't want to be impressed. I don't want any of that. Doesn't mean I don't want flowers. Doesn't mean I don't want, you know, like you do something. But I don't want to go through. I don't want to be stiff. I don't want to feel like I have to be on my best behavior. I don't want to feel like I'm in church. You know what I'm saying? I don't do any of that. I need to know that you have a fun side to you. You have a sense of humor, that you can be lighthearted. Because the real you, you know, day by day is not when we go out to dinner at the fancy restaurant or to the expensive trip or this and that. The real you is, can you meet me at the grocery store? You know, I need gas. Can we do the laundry? You know, like even that. Let's do laundry together. You know, what kind of detergent you use?
But that's why I said one of the days
because
it's was at the gym.
Now I'll tell you why the laundromat is gonna be a first date for me, because I hate doing the laundry. So if you get me in the laundry, like give me a reason to do. My son does the laundry to the whole house.
You like me with the car wash?
Two things I don't do. Now I would say it's not that I don't do laundry because I will do laundry, but it's not. I don't like So but that's a real everyday chore task. Like let's learn how we handle different things. I need to see you in real life in real time. And for me, I feel like that dress up dinner date make me earn that.
Mhm.
Don't just give it to me straight up because again, when you I feel like this. I don't, and I know, women, I know ladies, I know, but guess what? Y'all cannot kick me out of the club because, God gave me the woman card, so it's mine for life. But I feel like it takes the pressure off because I don't want you to try to impress me. Because when you are trying to impress me, I feel like you make me a conquest. Like I'm something that you're just trying to obtain, long gone are the days of just the pretty girl on your arm and just, the trophy piece. No, I don't, I don't want to be that. I don't want to have to be that and do that. Also, like Mo said, like men invest financially into dates with women. And we don't realize, like you said, if he goes out 3 nights a week, just dating different women and they're expecting this date on this, high caliber level, bro gonna be broke before his next paycheck come because trying to give women the same standard or the same level of care on a first date, that's a lot. And like you said, and you might decide halfway through, like, nah, this chick ain't even like, wait, like, it's gonna be one of those, have my friend on standby, and if I text you the number 1, call me, I got the emergency, we gotta go, But if you just bring it down, ladies, let him learn the value of you or the value of us in the simple things first. And then build to that space. I want to go out feeling like, when I get dressed up and it's time for us to go, like we worked our way here.
Yeah.
Not that we started up here, but I want to do the work from the ground up. Like, can we go gardening? I don't even garden really. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know half the time I'm doing. But, but let's do it.
I mean,
I do not have a green.
Yeah, I think for me, like I said, like being in, like, let's just be ourselves. Like I remember years ago, this guy, like that I was talking, like we had met or whatever, and we're trying to get together, and it was like I was like, I have plans. I'm gonna be in the city, after work. I'm going to meet my friend at the theater, and he was like, well, can we meet up for a couple of? And we met up for like coffee and tea, right, and chatted for a little while. And then I went off, to meet my friend because we had tickets for a show, right? But I thought that was cool because, he demonstrated that he was really interested in seeing me and connecting, even if it was just for a little bit of time, right? And then the next time we got together, it was like we hooked up again in the city, whatever. But we had more time to like really sit and talk and we always did like stuff that was fun. Like it was always like outside or walking or, just good energy. And it's funny because we were the same sign, right? So I didn't know if we were going to jive, right? But we used to have so much fun together. And I think it was because it wasn't like this big pressure thing. It was like, oh, okay, I know you got plans or whatever, but do you have, and I'm like, yeah, I got like about an hour before I have to meet up with my friend. He was like, cool, let's pop over here. We met close to the theater and whatever. And to me, that was like, okay, not only was it cool, but it demonstrated that, this dude was really interested in me enough that he was fine with spending whatever time I had with him.
Yeah, I've experienced that once in my lifetime. Like, and I was invited for a breakfast date, and I was like, "What? Like, like you don't want to see me at 9 o'clock? Like, okay, He's like, "No, let's go to breakfast." I said, "Okay, I'm here for it." And I went downtown to meet him. And we sat around Central Park, 125th. Like he brought breakfast, like bagels and juice, and like made it really nice. We just sat on the bench. We talked. We had other things to do, like you said, a short time, but we both enjoyed ourselves so much in that morning that by the afternoon, he's like, "Hey, are you busy tonight? Do you still have more time?" I was like, "I'm actually free," and we hooked up again later in the day. And went out and went right back to the same place we went to, and just walked around Central Park, just talked, and it was a great experience. It was very different. But at first I was like, breakfast date? I was like, you're a grown man, Monday. Like, it was different for me, but I was open to it, so I appreciated it. What was you gonna say, Moose? And then I got a question for you too.
No, I was
From the
gonna say,
men.
look, those are the best. Those are the best dates, right? Those just real interactions where you're in and out. You just got a time. And then it also, if you really like the person, it helps you miss them a little,
Yeah,
and
because you're like looking for the next time.
the next time. And I think in today's society too, with everybody having a busy life, and a lot of connections, that's something to be, to look for. I think that's something to kind of like want, because me, I got kids, I got all kinds of things going on. If I was out there dating right now, I would look for someone that would understand the busyness and chaos of my world.
Mm-hmm.
So if I got that moment to
Mm-hmm.
just like meet you for a little bit, or just talk to you, or FaceTime you, or just random moments, like, is it okay? But I want to talk on another earlier thing you said. I still love the random moments of meeting.
Mm.
And in today's world, that's a little tough, but I still enjoy it. I enjoy just running up to someone, somebody you see, think is attractive, you feel is attractive, and you want to say hi, and they want to say hi, or how that moves and that interaction. I think that's great. Sometimes I walk away and I still don't know people's names, but you never know, right?
Yeah. But that's the cool thing, like about
Never know.
That's like me, like people are like, "Oh, use the dating app," and I'm like, "No, can we just do it? Can I just meet someone the traditional, which is not the traditional way anymore, but it's something to like just you walking in the supermarket, you catch their eye, they catch your eye, you nod, right?
Yeah.
Or they be like, oh, like I've had guys say, oh, I like your sweatshirt, right? Whatever, because I always got some type of saying on it, and then that sparks a conversation, right? It's and like you said, you might walk away, not exchange numbers, might not remember the person's name, but it's just that little interaction of meeting someone, right?
And you know what? I'll toss this out there, right? Don't know how reception will be, but even for you ladies, if a guy approaches you and he's not physically attractive, or you don't feel that chemistry off the bat, right? Find a way to have that conversation, and let them down,
Mm-hmm.
instead of just standoffish, and I know that's not easy to for women at the same token too, because you have to think about your safety and how people react and things of that nature. But the goal is to get people to constantly keep talking, right? So even if a woman were to approach me, like I've had women approach me, and I'll tell them, like now I'm married, but like it's a way to do it. You have a conversation, you let them down in a way that they don't have to feel like, oh man, this guy is shooting me straight down, because it takes a lot to approach a person.
Mm-hmm.
It does, right? It takes a lot. And we want more people doing that.
Yeah.
Because in today's society, it's kind of hard, right?
Yeah.
So, and they make it really difficult for men. That's one. But if men or women are approaching, I think that's a really, really good thing. And if they're not your type, find a good way to let them down.
Mm-hmm.
So that
because
they still have enough in their tank to do it again.
But they might not be your type, but it could be a friend. It might be somebody that ends up being a friend. Right?
That's true.
Because everything doesn't have to be
romantic.
I think that goes back to the people with expectations, right?
Right.
Everything doesn't have to be a love connection.
Correct. You know, you might walk
You
away
can
with
just have
a
a great connection.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. See, I think this should always be gracious anyway, you know, because I do understand it takes a lot for men to approach women, just like it does for a woman to approach a man. But you do, and as a woman, you do have to be very careful about how we manage and navigate that space,
Yeah.
which is crazy, but it's because the world is crazy, you know. So for me, I try to just keep it on like a real low key friend. And this is where I get really blown sometimes. I ain't even gonna lie. In retrospect, I really do think about it because I'm a friendly person. So you know, people will, you know, I am. So you know, just like okay, and apparently I'm all very lovable, you know. So I'm like okay. So when men will approach, and I'm just like, hey, I don't take it personal. I don't take everything. I'm very black and white. Like you really have to tell me. You got to spell it out because I refuse to assume anything.
Exactly.
I assume nothing more than you are just being nice. Maybe you like my perfume. Maybe you look like you said, Theo. You know, my hoodie. Every hoodie every hoodie, t-shirt, everything says something on it. You know, and. Wear my hoodies that say thicker than a snicker. Everybody's always complimenting. And I'm like, right, you know, hey, I'm just saying this what it is. Like, you know, and then we'll be like, yes, you are. And I'm like, and I am, you know, and just keep it moving. I don't stop to have like to even let them continue a sentence. Like me and Jay were in Walmart one day. And he swear like this guy, like kind of, you know, he was looking at whatnot. You know, somebody staring at you after a while, I get irritated. So I'm just like, you know, I'll say hello because if you're just gonna stare at me, like I see you seeing
at me, I'm gonna wave or something.
Yeah,
I'm like,
like, what are we doing? No, so that don't feel awkward to you. Like you're not uncomfortable about it. You know, so. I'm just like, okay, I see you. But hi, you know, just hi, you know. So they're walking through the store. I'm not realizing that he is absolutely not paying attention to whoever this is that he's with, you know. And Jalen is like, Mom. And he is like on my side. And I'm like, Jay, get off of me. You know. And it was like, why are you so close? You are 6'1", 310, and like 92 years old now. I couldn't even get you to stick this close to me when you was like 4 when we was in the supermarket. Why are you on my side? You know, everywhere we went.
Because he see what's going on.
Right. And me, and that's what I said, I'm oblivious. I'm not, because it was a moment and it was over for me. You know, I went on about my business. So I'm just like, okay, well, you know, all right. Not paying any mind to because my mind is focused on what I needed to do. And I'm like, Jay, go get some eggs. He was like, no. I'm like, okay, I'm not, like, we're not playing right now. Like, this just because the eggs are like all the way down in the back and I'm in the front. He's like, well, where are you going? I was like, I'm going down this aisle to get with. I was like, what is the matter with you? You know, and he's like, I'm going where you going. I'm going to get it wherever. And I was like, what? But the whole point of it was he's peeping the guy, peeping me. He's like, Mommy, every aisle you go down, dude is going down the same aisle and he ain't picking up nothing. I was like, what dude? Like, what are you talking about? He said, the guy you said hello to in the front. I was like, Jalen, they may be paying me no mind. He was like, Mommy. I was like, Jalen. And he was right, you know, and because later on we bumped into each other in another aisle and, you know, he decided to finally open his mouth and speak. And I was like, okay. But, you know, again, I become very oblivious because in my mind's eye, if you are not being clear in your intentions,
exactly.
then I'm not going to. You could just be friendly. You could just be giving a compliment. There's nothing wrong with just giving and receiving a compliment and it being nothing more than that, you know. And it's not that, oh, he gave me a compliment. Yeah, just like, okay, yeah, you know, and I'm like, yeah, you know, I mean, I have on something, everything I wear says something, so I get it, you know, it draws attention. I'm like, okay, and it's nothing more than that. So, but I was gracious in how
I watch a lot of criminal shows. If I do notice that you are in every aisle that I am in and you haven't said anything, now I'm thinking, are you trying to kidnap me? So,
Well,
so I might turn around and be like, "Hey, excuse me," right? Because I'm like, "Yo, what's up?" Right? Because I
I
watch.
think I'm not really. I don't fit kidnappable criteria, so I don't worry about that. What I'm worried about is you catching his hands. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't going out like that, bro.
Or you could roll up to him, right, and act like you don't see him. Be like, and then go on your coat and be like, "Yeah, he right behind me. Come on, come get him. Come get him."
I gotta use someone.
But it is crazy how there are some men that they will. You'll notice that, like to Moose's point, right? There are some men that are not like really sure if they should approach, right? And I know I had to change. I had to change my view on that because I used to be like, well, if he's too afraid to approach me, then maybe he did it. And then I was like, you know what? No, I need to be a little more open-minded about that because I do get how it might be hard for someone to just approach, you. So,
It's the awkwardness into it, and it's the rejection, right? So let's be honest, right? As women,
mm-hmm.
how do you deal with rejection?
That's a good question. I've never really thought about it that way.
I gotta think about it.
I mean, if I'm being logical, right?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody likes rejection, and I think women, from a perspective, just from my experience, so it's all anecdotal. All right, so nobody come for me. It's anecdotal. From my experience, women hate rejection so bad to the point that they won't do something based off of if they believe they might be rejected.
Yeah.
Right?
I think, I could agree with that. Yeah.
Now, however, men live in the world of rejection.
Mm-hmm.
We're used to it. We know, like, to a degree, right? So, like, I'll tell you, like, when I was younger, the concept and was taught to me that it's a numbers game. So you have to learn to deal with rejection, right? You might speak to 9 girls and they may all say no, but that 10th one might say, hey, why not? So at a young age, men learn to deal with rejection, right? And I think it's the men that you see that we have negative experiences with women out in the world. They never learned how to deal with rejection. You get what I'm saying? So those are the ones that I worry about with interacting with our women because, they're, for lack of a better explanation of it, they're more feminine in their response. You get what I'm saying? Because women don't like rejection, and you reject a woman, and she's liable to do some things to you, bro. You know what I'm saying? So that's
true.
But I think that's true because I will say when I lived, when I was, I'm born and raised in the Bronx, lived in the city, worked in the city. I never was one to not acknowledge when someone spoke to me, only because, like you said, some dudes, their reaction is crazy, right? So even if they're like, hey, whatever and I'll just be like, hello, and I'll keep walking, or depending on who it is, I might engage, but I never would just walk and not acknowledge when someone spoke to me because I'm like, this might be crazy dude who's going snap.
Right.
And so I'd rather just say hello. And then if they keep going, I'll be like, well, if they'll be like, oh, you have a moment. And I'll be like, oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm late for something. Or I'm in a hurry, right? Like I never want to be rude because sometimes you could pick up on the energy of the dude that's going to snap on you if you don't.
And and sometimes you can't. So what I would just say is, like, especially being that it's coming close to Valentine's Day, and ladies, I do want you to be safe. Let's just be honest, right? So just be cautious, and stay in the public, and don't go in no corner, no back aisle with nobody. You know?
Well, you know, I don't really go outside.
I'm just saying, but true. But men are more risk takers, and
They are.
women we do operate more.
Yeah.
They're like the safety net. Like we will only make certain moves 9 times out of 10, unless you're that unusual chick. You know, when we are sure.
Yeah.
You know, I have to move with certainty. Now, me, I don't know really a risk taker. I'm not really the risk taker in that sense. I'll agree with you, Moose, 100%. But what I will do is, after a minute, like I can't do the tension and all that. Like I'm very black and white, very straightforward, straight no chaser. So after a minute, I'm just gonna straight away be like, listen, what are we doing? Like what would you like? You know, I've said this before. My 2 questions typically, and I've gotten better, but I feel like that part of me is coming back. You know, when men approach, it's like, what do you want and who sent you? Just get straight to it.
You say like
just get.
Well, I said,
Most often, back in the.
I seen you, I liked you, and I want some more of you.
I will honestly say
Okay.
that I don't have a problem. Like normally, if I see somebody that interests me, like I'm gonna either smile, right? You know, or I'm gonna like, you know, make eye contact, you know. I don't have a problem like letting them be known that, hey, you know, you piqued my interest, right? And you know, but yeah, I do think that we are a little more cautious for a variety of reasons.
Well, yeah, exactly. For a variety of reasons.
Well, Harlem said you right. She said you right. Okay, I don't have a problem with expressing my interest. I don't have a problem with reciprocating interest and reciprocating it. I don't even have a problem with interest. Listen, at this big old age, I don't have time. I don't think I have the bandwidth. I just don't have it. And I'm not saying that I don't want all the other little. I don't necessarily want to do the cat and mouse thing. You know, I'm just like, just approach, state your purpose. The issue that I have, don't laugh at me, because I'm just like, I can't. It becomes annoying because unless you're saying, like Moose said, he's 45, there's not too much that you have not done. So what really are you saying that I haven't heard before? Yeah. You know, like, can we not do the typical lines and conversations? You know,
I mean, don't
like, I don't want to rock.
Like, you must be an angel because you fell from heaven and all that kind of stuff. Like,
don't take that away from us.
I mean, save that.
I'm just.
I mean, listen, you liable to get something like that from me.
In my mind's eye, I see now because you gave us
a poet.
But wait, but Moose now, because he gave us the 9 out of 10 rule, you know, so I'm like, so what number am I in the lineup of am I 10, am I 7? Because that's going to determine whether I'm saying yes.
Hey, listen.
No, whether I'm going for it or not. You know? Because now that I know I'm not the only one.
By that energy, I'm telling you, you might be 6 or 7, you know what I'm saying?
But I was gonna say, I'm sure you won't even know what number you are because the energy would still be like you number 1.
Yeah, but listen. I'm telling you, right?
See, but in my head, I'm like,
You gotta give a little bit of cat and mouse, right?
Yeah.
And I with some honesty, cat and mouse with some honesty, right? Okay. Like, you know, a little give and take, whether it's the smile.
See, I can work with that.
Yeah.
And then be like, all right, what's good? What's up? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest with you.
I'm with that.
You good with that?
I'm with that. That I can get with that. Yes.
Yeah. See, and that's my thing. I think, like some men or boys may not like honest woman or for a woman. I'll be honest with you. I love it. Tell me I ain't your type.
Yeah.
Tell me, look, I'm too short or too tall, whatever the case may be. Let me know. So I can be like, all right, I ain't gonna hold you up. Have a good day.
Yeah.
I hope you find what you're looking for, and I keep it moving.
Yeah.
And I think it's important that, right? Like, I mean, but still be pleasant, because if we have a good interaction, I think that's also positive energy that you build up for yourself and for others, But it's just a way to do it,
It's all about being kind, right? Like it's all about being kind. You don't have to be rude, right?
Yes.
You don't have to be rude.
Yes.
You don't have to be dismissive, right? You could not be interested in someone and they don't walk away feeling like, you just deflated them.
Yeah. And I mean, people get the message sometimes too, They do. And and let them know, like, hey, I always tell some women that I talk to that are asking some of these questions. Don't tell the guy that may see you more often that you ain't interested in nobody, and then next week he see you with somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you're not interested in him,
exactly. Just say I'm not interested in you.
Him, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you don't end up in some type of situation.
Yeah. Yeah, that might not be a good look, right? Like
I see some things,
But it's true, like
My bad. I'm sorry.
Are you laughing because you've done that, sis? Or are you laughing because you've done that?
I know plenty of women who've done it.
What I'm saying, has Lady Dawn B done that because you are laughing a little too hard?
This brother said, all right, he walks away. He think maybe, you know what? Maybe there'll be a chance in a month or next week or whatever. And then he comes back
I gotta get me
somebody else. And you can see
I'm not interested in dating right now. But then next week they see you with somebody.
Y'all know I'm transparent. Y'all know it's my truth. I'm reformed now. I'm reformed, but I have. It's just hearing it now at this point in life. It's like,
but I think we probably have done that when we were younger, right? We may have done that when we were younger. I know there may be some older women that are still doing it, but
I can't say it was. So when you say younger, like how, like?
But you know what I'm honestly gonna say. For me as a younger person, I actually look back now, and I think sometimes I could have been. Give it a frame. Because I used to be like with dudes to be like, "Oh, can I have your number?" And I'd be like, "Well, you know what? I'm really not gonna give you my number, and I'm not gonna take yours because most likely I'm not gonna call you, right?" That was me when I was younger. But then my friends used to tell me that was too mean, and I'm like, "Yo, I'm just being honest. Like, I don't want to take the dude's number and know that I'm gonna throw it in the garbage because I'm never gonna call him." So I used to be like, "You know what? not gonna take your number because I'm probably not gonna call you, right?" But then my friends used to tell me that wasn't nice. So.
I
was like that, like. So I'll be that way. It wasn't even young.
But I like it sounds like Dawn used to be like, "Oh, I'm not interested in dating," and then next week she's dating somebody in front of the person.
I got a whole man. I don't even know how we got here. I don't know what's happening. I'm just saying. What's love got to do with it? I don't know. I don't know. And listen, I can't get my words out. Okay, I'm transparent, so I don't care. I'll tell them. I said, I have done it. But I'm like, it's not really my fault. And the reason why I say it's not really my fault is because you were just too soft to handle the rejection. So I'm trying to let you down easily. Either way, I'm wrong. And I know what I'm saying.
Now, Moose just saying dudes don't do rejection well. So
I'll be like, bro, I'm just like, he's not gonna handle this well. And then how do I not date? Because like, how do you not? You can't be like, but babe, all right, don't come pick me up at the job. Like, don't because And then after a while, it's like, no, I'm coming to get you. It's like, no, don't.
You got to tell men the truth. You can't see it from the perspective of you. You can't handle that rejection well. You tell that man, and even if he go crying with his tail between his legs, let him go. He's got to deal with that. Because the world ain't gonna be soft, In
my heart of hearts, I thought I was doing the right thing, but you helped me to understand that it was
right. You thought that. You ain't do the right thing. You ain't do the right thing.
I'm not the only one.
Well, you are not the only one. All of us have done that at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm saying, and I felt horrible, but at the same time, it's like, because like at the water cooler, then it's like, so hey, so how are you? I'm fine. I'm trying to hurry up and get my water, go back to my desk. And it's like, so you didn't drive to the no. I got a ride. It's like, wow, okay, those are nice flowers. Yeah, thank you. So but you wouldn't let me give you flowers and that we could, because and, sir, I don't know what you want me to tell you at this point. You know what I'm saying? Because it just, I'm like, so now you bold, now you got backbone, because now you question. If it was me and I saw that happen, I would let you ride. I'd let you slide and ride. Like, go ahead with yourself, bro. You know what I'm saying? If it was the other, like, I see you, got you, no problem, you got this. But the other way, I was just like, oh, but yeah, dear Moose, you got me on that one. You did. Yeah. I'm better now. I'm reformed. I'm reformed.
We're reformed now.
I'm sure I like simple things too.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me read these. Let's get these comments, because y'all, I don't know what has happened. Welcome to Thursday night, y'all. Anything can happen. It is pre-Valentine's Day, and we supposed to be talking about what's love got to do with it. And somehow we here, but Thursday nights, I think I'm gonna stop giving topics, because you never know what's gonna happen. I mean, this is still related to what love has got to do with this. What does it have to do with the relationship? Is it a part of the foundation, or are we entering into relationships with foundation of like the bartering system and business transactions? Obviously, I did not. Obviously, I was very wrong in my actions. And so now that I know how, I won't, we won't do that. Y'all know I'm very transparent, and it doesn't mean that it's current. It just means that it's happened.
I mean, I'm sure I've done it. I know I've done it.
The homegirl said, I'm making and we sitting on the grass, sir. Listen, I'm okay with that too. Well, I'm not doing the grass. We are sitting.
I'm not doing the grass, I'm not doing the grass, but I'll make the sandwiches.
Bring a chair to the bench show.
Wait, we're not doing the blanket on the grass.
I'm not a grass person. Like, I don't want to sit in it, even on the blanket. I don't want to walk it. Like, we could do the concrete. We could sit on the bench.
Oh, you definitely New York through and through.
Yeah, you don't want to sit in the New York grass. We just don't do it.
Y'all the concrete jungle, for real.
I was just telling someone down here, I was like, if I had it my way, like, I would concrete my whole backyard.
Yo, that's wild.
What?
Listen, I love nature. I
You too.
I love looking at it, but I don't want to like walk in it
from a
or
window.
it. No, like even in the park. I love being outside, but I just don't want to like walk in it or sit in it. You know.
Hey, listen,
Oh,
what's love?
I don't mind
What's love got to do with it?
because it ain't Disney. Apparently, it's not. It's really not. You know, I mean, and I think all of this speaks to as much of it joking, you know, because listen, we're not apologizing for anything. This is the way the conversation flows. Because we keep it real. Y'all know on Thursday nights, there are no limits, no bars at all.
We are real. It's okay. Some people like concrete jungles. It's okay. You know, ain't nothing wrong with it. We support that. We love everybody over here.
But I do nature. Like I love walking in the park, whatever. But I'll tell you something.
Listen.
I tell you something I did once with this guy was
When you saw some birds?
We had been dating. I called myself making lemonade, right? Fresh lemonade for him. So I called my friend and I'm like, I made lemonade, but it really wasn't a lot. And she was like, sis, did you put what?
What in the world?
Wait. So how many lemons? How many lemons did you use?
I don't remember.
You just squeeze straight all lemons?
That shit.
Hey.
Hey,
You put sugar in it?
I think I did. Well, obviously, I don't think that relationship went anywhere.
listen, that's why we single now. Because you over here with the lemonade and me over here with the horrible letdown and disrespectful.
I tried. Like I was like, oh, I made, and then I think I actually made fish. And she was like, "What you
made? What?
Fish. I fried some fish." She was like, she said, "You just gave her fish on a plate." I think back to that now. I'm like, oh my God.
Listen, if y'all don't get nothing else tonight's conversation, it is don't repeat the past of me and Theo. Do not. Blame yourselves.
Well, I was in my 20s back then, so
do better than us.
I was, but listen, at least I tried.
Oh,
yes, you did. You tried.
You know, is it really?
And it was a lesson I learned.
Oh, happy Thursday, y'all. Happy Thursday. It is. Oh, look at that. Juggling is here. Hey. Hey, Juggling. Hey, fam. Glad you popped it. We are cutting up tonight. And we have gone left. You know, I had a feeling it was going to go left at 8:30 left at 7 o'clock. And it did. And that's fine. Because, you know, on Thursday nights, we never know what's going to happen anyway. We just don't know. And we roll with it. And that's why we love it here. So glad you're here, Juggling. You should be on this side of the screen.
I know. I'm so happy.
Okay, so.
Tonight. And look, 2 weeks in a row. Last week, I got to see Justin. I hadn't seen him in a while. This week, I get to see you. Look at that.
And you know what? Hopefully next week we'll get to see all the men, because next week's topic, we're talking about what's in a man's heart. And we need the men folk to come up here and talk about, I'm sorry, it's the heart of a man. Because sometimes we think we know what's in the heart of a man. We know what's in the heart of a man from a woman's perspective, which is not always correct. Because sometimes our vision is way off, and it is suggestive to what we want it to be, not really what is in the heart of a man. And it's really about what is at his core. You know, how do we get to know what's at the core of a man so that we know how to show up and serve them correctly. Because a lot of times I think what breaks a lot of the communication and creates miscommunication and a lot of division is the fact that we are going off of assumption, and we have a hard time accepting a man's truth. And we want you to bend to our vision instead of us bending or accepting what your truth is, and embracing that. And we have
that should be good. That's gonna be good.
That's listen. Look, move no switch. She done sat up here. I see you. And we trying to get right. Not trying to be right no more, ladies. Like we trying to get it. And I want the men to come. Look, they already trying to kick me out of the women's club, but it ain't gonna happen. So I figured, while I'm already on the side of trouble, I might as well continue stirring the pot. But the truth is, how do I just say it? I've been delivered from people a long time, and I give no cares. There is a level of not caring that is deeper than I don't care, that I can show. The gentleman said that should be good. I can't wait. She said, "Moose, close your eyes, please." But men need to hear that. That's the thing. Men need to hear that there are women out here who actually want to hear where you are, like really what your need is. Not what I want to make it be for you, but what is your need? Because if I'm going to love you, I have to love you for who you are and how you are today. Why do I have to expect perfection and, all of that out of you? And I'm not perfect, and with that mentality, what I've come to learn is that, and this is a little bit of wisdom here. Most often, people who have that mentality is the fact that I want you to be whole so I can remain broken. Mm-hmm. Because the squeaky wheel is the one that gets the oil. Yeah. And if we're both squeaking, it's competition about who gets it first. But if you're whole,
I thought it even a little different. It's if I make it seem like you're squeaking louder than me, then nobody will pay attention to my squeaks.
Yep.
Say on, sir. Say on.
So if I can make it seem like you're the broken, messed up one, then nobody will see my issues. Right? Because I'm so afraid to face my issues, so I'd rather put it all on you. Mm-hmm. And then when you actually hold the mirror to me and reflect mine, I'll either dismiss it, act like you're lying, you're crazy, or I'll be bold one day and I'll be like, yeah, and
that part.
Yeah.
But that's a whole you jumping into next week conversation.
I was gonna say that's a whole another.
No, sorry. It just struck me. It just hit me right there. I'm just saying.
Let me tell you, and if Justin is here next week, Lord Jesus.
I hope all the men are here because I got some questions. Okay, because the sister is trying to learn. I got some questions, and then I'm gonna drop out and let the men just talk, and then I'll be back because. Because we getting into next week's conversation.
What's love? Even tonight, I'm taking notes because since I haven't dated in a minute, so I'm like, okay, Moose teaching me something.
The voice of the men are so important, and because women talking to women gets us nowhere. I'm not trying to be in a relationship with a woman. Like I don't like women. I don't like y'all like that. I love you as my sister, but I don't like y'all like that. I'm not trying to. I love my sisters. I will serve them, but sis, I am not trying to be your girl. Like I absolutely am not.
And
so talking
as a man, regarding these things, I would love to talk to a woman, right? But the problem that I think happens a lot of times is that when women engage with us, they engage with that mind that they use with other women. And as a man, when I'm talking to you, I know you're not a man. So I'm not talking to you like a man. You get what I'm saying? I'm not coming to you in that form of fashion that I would speak to with a man. But I think a lot of times when women when women talk to men too, they never switch. You know, they never switch. They stay in the same mode that they deal with women. You know, and you know, and all the looking to respond, the cattiness, the one upping, right? Because like I'm talking to y'all, I love y'all. I don't need to one up you. You know, we can laugh and have jokes here and there, but it's all love, right? But I'm going to learn from you, right? And we're going to go back and forth. But I think sometimes too, when a lot of times when women talk to men and they aren't at the stage emotionally, mentally, and spiritually where you women are, it's like they got to one up us, or they're in competition with us. And nah, I don't need that. I just need you to be you, because that's what I want. I need that energy. Because I don't get that energy. When I'm dealing with my brothers, I'm not getting that type of energy. You know? So if I'm talking to a woman, I want your energy, not that other stuff. But then maybe, hey, look, while I was speaking, it came to me, maybe that's what woman energy is. I don't know. But I know
I think that's so cool, because like I will tell you, like 2 of my cousins who I'm really close with, I have some of the best conversations with them, because they will just like they'll be like, no, yo, cuz you're because they know me, right? So they'll be like, no, cuz you are this way, so you got to think about this when you're like, and you know, and so they will and they'll check me in love, right? They'll be like, no, you know, and because they know me, right, they'll be able to tell me, nah, and like when my energy is off, or when I probably did something like approach the person wrong.
But see, you're also receptive to them, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So therefore, you're not going to sugarcoat yourself or hide the truth. See, so sometimes, right, what I've noticed, and remember, and anybody listening, these are my anecdotal experiences, right? So what I've noticed at times too, some women, they will be in a situation where they might have some male counterparts, but again, like I said, they speak the way they speak in women's spheres, right? So what they do is they lie, or they hide the truth, or they omit the truth, right? And they tell it from a perspective, because what I've noticed a lot, and maybe this could just be narcissistic individuals, or you know, what I notice sometimes, that women care more about image. So when they paint a story, it's more about image than the truth. And whereas a guy, I want to tell all factors, all sides, because I want to be able to make I want to know if I made the wrong decision, even with all that I seen, right? I want to know if I made the right decision. And I know if I'm talking to another man, that he needs all the facts, all the factors, so he can give me what he believes is the best thought process. And I think sometimes women don't do that. I think women omit things, they change things, they filter things because they want a certain outcome.
And do.
Yeah.
And do.
You know what I'm saying?
We do.
So
Yeah.
So I think
we do.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed. You know, because I can't wrap my head around it, because I'm not in a woman's mind. But when I witness these things, my mind says, okay, she's caring about image. She's caring about, because she doesn't want to hear the truth, because if she heard the truth is similar to like hearing rejection. You know, so it stings, right? So she would rather lie than hear the truth and face accountability. You know, but that's a whole nother topic.
I think with that, it's not even. No, that's good, because you know when you talk about the truth, and I'm gonna be honest, it's not even that we don't hear the truth, because we do, and that's what upsets us. It's the truth that will cause you to try to change the narrative, because you don't want that to be true. You know what I'm saying? You don't, and the ladies, we just call it what it is, right? Because it's just how we are, and it's a form of manipulation. You know, because I don't want to be wrong. You know, that's what it comes down to. I don't want to be wrong. I want this outcome, and that's all that it is. So I hear your truth. I can't unhear it when you say it, but I will never let you know that I heard it. I won't accept it.
That's wild.
You know, it's real. being completely honest. You cannot unhear it. And then we have to learn how to digest it. But a lot of us women have not been taught how to sit in truth and how to have proper conversation with men, and to understand that we don't, and I said, even with the show, we don't have to agree. We're not here to convict nor convince each other, but we have to respect one another. I used to be very combative in that way. I really did. So I was like, I know me, and I want what I want when I want it, and ain't no way in the world you're going to tell me A, B, C, and D. Sir, you kick rocks with open-toe shoes and Jesus sandals, because I don't know what you're talking about. Like,
you say Jesus sandals.
I did. I promise you I was a mess. Sometimes when I think about it, I'm like, Lord, you must have gave the people that I must have been like really, really cute. Like they must have been like really taken by me, because my attitude when I like, and it's not that I wasn't a sweet person, but I'm not a sweet person, but I know me. And when I get in a certain space, because like I've said before, y'all know I'm transparent, I own it. Like, I don't understand no. When you say no to me, like my eyebrow raises, like I got the rock eyebrow, like what do you, what does that mean? Like what do you, no. Like, you mean no, you can't do it? Or like, no, like you can't do it because I can. Like, so I don't know what that means. But the way I would react and respond. And something else that you said that made me think about it in conjunction to this is how you were talking about Theo, when Theo was saying how she had male cousins who she would talk to, and you said how she would receive it. Mm-hmm. Now, as a woman, I'll be the first one to tell you, if I don't respect you, you can tell me absolutely nothing. What you could be saying could be absolutely true, and I still will not receive it because I have no respect for you and no respect for your word. And I'm just saying, I'm being honest. So for me, when I'm listening to a man, it's because I respect you and I honor you and I know that you know what you're talking about. Like I'm not going to be your test dummy to figure it out and whatnot, with certain men and certain things. But when you know what I'm saying? Like you can talk in a certain way. Like it's a big deal for us as women, hearing the respect and having respect for the men that are in our lives. So when women are not receptive and when women are very combative, it's because there is no respect. No matter how much we say we love you and do all these other things and apologize, if that even happens, that cycle continues because there's no respect. So the problem is not even the problem is not a lack of love. The problem is a lack of respect.
Yeah,
and then it's like, if you don't, why are you here?
Yeah,
I find that fascinating, right, baby? No, y'all go out. Y'all go out. No, I love y'all. Go out. So I'm done. So I find it fascinating. Go sit down. I find that fascinating because we both see respect differently. See, so like men need respect, right? And it's a form of love for us, right? Because I know you love me by how you respect me, like you said, right? And for you, it's I can't listen to you unless I respect you, right? But it's fascinating to me because like we see respect differently. Like you feel like you have to show it. I feel like I need to receive it, but I also give it. Like in the way that I talk to you, that's respect. The way that I explain myself to you, that's respect. Because if you was on the street, I don't gotta explain nothing to you. I don't gotta say nothing to you. You know what I'm saying? I just gotta move. I do what I gotta do. But if I take the time out to explain myself to you, if I take the time out to even apologize to you or to rethink for you, like that's respect and love for you. You know what I'm saying? But like, I feel like, I don't think sometimes women can see that on the flip. You know what I'm saying? And you know, whatever notions are in a woman's mind that tells her to respect. Let me get them out of here.
I was I was gonna say also for me too, it is I'm looking at how you live in your life,
Mhm.
right? So if you out here and you treating people foul and I see you, you know, you're a womanizer, or even when it comes to my female friends, right? Like I'm looking at how you treat other people and how you're engaging and how you're living your life, because I'm not gonna take advice from someone that I'm like, I'm not even feeling how you live in your life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Like you can't. There's only but so much that you can say to me, and there's not one voice, one sound here, and we're not speaking for all women and whatnot, but it's the reality that at the core of our behavior, and maybe some of us women don't even realize that at the core of this behavior, it is the lack of respect. You wonder how you love someone, but you can't seem to follow their instruction.
yeah,
Everything the man says to you, you feel like he is trying to be controlling, and he's trying to just overtake you, and we've all been, I'm sure we've all been in that, as women, in that position where we've had those feelings. And I had to learn to pause and think that maybe it's not in what he's saying. Maybe it's in how I'm receiving it. Like what's going on with me that I'm receiving what he's saying this way. And is it because he's saying it, or is it because of what he's saying? So it's a process of things. And I have to say, this, I was married to someone that I did not respect, at all. That,
I mean,
like,
and I think that matters, right? And just a little simple analogy, right? And this, so one of the things I've done in my life has been a Weight Watchers,
because you need to finish.
leader, right?
Mhm.
And one of the things about working for Weight Watchers, right? I don't know how it is now, but back in the day, and I think it's still the same thing, is in order for you to actually be a leader, a receptionist, or be on their team, you needed to have gone through the program. Right? Because I can't stand up in front of people and tell them what they need to be doing, but I haven't gone through it, right? And so I think it's a similar thing, right? We're usually going to receive information from people that we kind of can relate to, or like Tamu said, you have a certain level of respect for them, or you're just looking at how they live their lives, right? Is this person ratchet? Are they out here doing all this stuff that you're like, you trying to tell me how I should be engaging with people, and you out here flim flamming people and whatever? So I think that's also key too, because how sometimes how you receive information is from the person it comes from. Like Moose said, when I say my cousin, like these are my dudes, right? And I also have male friends, because you can be friends with men who I respect, right? Who they also, I'll go to and be like the time when this guy told me I wasn't a girly girl, right? I didn't know what the heck that meant. I was like, what is a girly girl? I went to my male friends that I respected and I was like, listen, what's a girly girl? Right? And they were like, sis, that's some bullshit. I never heard of it. Whatever. But these are dudes that I felt comfortable going to, telling them that this is a situation that happened. This guy was like, oh, he thinks I'm a great girl, but he don't want to date me no more because I'm not a girly girl. Right? And you have to feel comfortable with the person you're going to, because that's a little bit of vulnerability as well.
It's a lot.
And
And it's also
what
their
does
perception.
vulnerability do?
Yeah.
The showing of vulnerability is perceived by ignorant individuals as weakness,
Yeah.
right? So
Mhm.
people are very afraid to be vulnerable,
Yeah.
right? So we'll do a little plug right here. Courageous
Yes.
vulnerability, right? It takes
Come on,
courage to be
where's the book?
vulnerable.
Yeah, for
You know,
real. My book is right there too.
so I
Say,
give a book.
my book to my lady.
Yeah, but I mean, but it's true, because there has to be a level of vulnerability for you to engage in real conversations with people.
You know, and that's the thing, right? And there we go, that courageous vulnerability.
Yes.
Right. So what I learned, and which threw me off really, but I get it. I understand it. But I couldn't at first. I knew a situation where the woman and the man that were in the situation, because the man took time and opportunity to talk to her, to want her to be side by side with him, and had this envision and moved in that way, it was seen as weakness by his woman.
Wow.
And the reason it was seen by weakness, and she herself probably didn't even know it at the time, but the reason why it was seen as weakness is because of the environment in which the woman came from. In that environment, anyone who showed emotion, anyone who showed certain aspects and didn't kind of like lead with that kind of oomph, right? They were considered weak. So if this was learned as a child, imagine how hard it is to break through that as an adult.
Yeah.
So to tie it to the topic, when you say what's love got to do with it, I think it's more than love. You need more than love, right? Because like you said, a woman can say, I love you, but she don't respect you. So for men, I will say is like when you're dealing with a woman, it's got to be more than just love. You can't fall for just love with that woman. Does that woman honor you? Does she respect you? Does she trust your words? Is she listening to you, right?
Ooh,
is she always
words?
What happened?
I say, does she trust your words? Like that hit different. That hit, I'm sorry, I'm back now.
No, I mean it's true. Like if you say, you know, when light or chlorophyll and this and that hit this and spectrum, you know, the leaves turn green because this part of the light spectrum hits a chlorophyll this and blah blah blah. Does she walk away like, let me go look that up? Or does she say, oh man, I just learned something, and then let me go follow up? Which, you know, like I still wanted to follow up, right? We all watched Reading Rainbow, right? Yeah. So I still want you to follow up. But does she, what's the follow up? Is the follow up because she doesn't trust you, or the follow up is to like verify?
Yeah, or the follow up is that she is so interested and engaged by what you have shared with her that she wants to learn more about it so that you guys can talk about it further.
Correct. So it all matters. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It all matters. So like that's why I said, like, in regards to the topic, I've learned that it needs to be more than love.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
you can't survive off of just love.
No,
there's so much more to building that foundation of the relationship, because what happens, I'm sure we've all seen what happens when there's no more love, right?
I mean, so but
what's going to help you through those tough times?
Let's be realistic, right? We all have our different, because of the way English is and because of other things, we have our different definition of love.
Yeah.
Every person to person have a different definition of love. Yeah. We're not talking about God's love, right?
Yeah.
We're just talking about love between human beings, right?
We're not talking about agape love, right?
Agape love, right?
We're talking about that day-to-day.
Yeah.
And to the point that you just made, right? We're talking about that love that is based on the foundation you bring in from your childhood and then from your life experiences, right? From the disappointments, from the hurt, from like we're talking about all of those stages that we go through, right?
Correct.
that are just piling on top and piling on top. And then for the people that don't say, hey, maybe I need to work this out and figure out what I need to fix, right? It becomes even more of a problem, right?
Yeah.
Like I can say we're all still probably a work in progress, but we also have done some work.
Correct.
Right. So we know ourselves a little better. We are more self-aware. And so we're able to kind of pull ourselves in some cases, right? Because we've dealt with some of that, or we've kind of unpacked some of that stuff that we picked up along the way. But when you're dealing with someone that is still carrying all of the stuff that they picked up, like they got this bag and they're weighed down by it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I had a old relationship years ago, right? Where there was a situation and there was a disagreement, and the young lady at the time, you know, trigger warning for anybody who had experienced domestic abuse and all these other type of things. It's not that in this situation, but this was the background of the young lady that I had to learn about. So we got into an argument, a disagreement. She locked herself in the bathroom, right? We needed to go somewhere. We had a dinner arrangement. So I'm knocking on the door. Hey, are you ready? Are you coming out so we can go? No. So needless to say, I looked at her. I said, all right, I'm leaving. And I left. When I came back, after everything was over, the young lady was upset with me. She said, you don't love me. I said, what do you mean I don't love you? She said, you don't love me. I said, how can you say that? She said, you didn't knock the door down. You didn't break the door down to get to me.
Mm.
So I looked at her. I said, why would I break down the door that I got to fix to get to you, to prove to you that I love you when I'm talking to you through the door, telling you I love you, come on, let's go. You said no. But what I didn't know is that in her experience, that what taught her love was abuse.
Mm-hmm.
What taught her love was violence.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what she recognized as love. And because I did not move in that way, it meant I didn't love her. So I say that story to say that everybody have different illustrations or ideas of love, and we don't know people's background. What was their foundational love built on?
Mm-hmm.
So we got to learn those things, you know, because if somebody's foundational love is totally opposite of who you are as a person, you will. It doesn't matter how you can love that person until you give your every organ in your body.
Yeah.
But that person will never recognize it as love.
Yeah.
So it takes more than love, people.
But I think, you know, it does. And I think to add on to what you're saying, one of the key components, because y'all know I'm introspective, is you have to know what your foundational love is.
Yeah.
Agreed.
You can't expect someone else to figure it out. You have to know. And for a lot of us, it's hard to identify because if, like you said, if abuse is your norm, you don't know that it's not normal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you don't even know to identify it as an issue. You know, I realized something about myself, again, transparent, while we in this space. One of the things that I realized in my combativeness in some prior relationships was the fact that I needed you to fight for me because I felt like no one ever did.
Mm.
And I didn't mean that I needed you to fight with me, but I needed to feel, in order for me to feel like I'm enough for you and like you really to connect what you're saying with the legitimacy of our relationship, I needed you to fight for me. You know, show up for me. I don't care how difficult I'm being, you know. And I don't, even to this day, I don't even really understand what the root of that fully is, or why, like, really, like, I'm learning it in layers, but I realize that when I find myself in relationship spaces now, and I recognize the signs when I start to kind of fade to that way, and I'll be like, no, 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 we don't need that, because you know that you're enough on your own today. They don't need to validate that for you. Now, them fighting for you in this space proves the validation for them to be in this space, to occupy that space with you. They're fighting for the right to stay in the space with you, not fighting for you to be in their space. It was, I had to really understand that about myself, and not use that as part of my foundation for love, because again, it's, love is not enough. Love does, I said, those days when it was, we can live off love, and, love will cover us and carry us through. And that is true. You can live off love, but there are other things that you need in order to have the fullness of a relationship. There has to be truth. Like I said, there has to be vulnerability. There has to be honesty and transparency, because those are different things.
Yeah.
There has to be you got to be willing to have the hard conversations. You got to understand that life and love and relationship is not the fairy tale. We have fairy tale moments, but if we can't ride through the rough stuff back to back, then we can't be in a relationship, because the truth of the matter is, that's the day-to-day of our relationship.
And I think that's so true, because for me, my history is, I was so in love with being in love, right, that I wasn't being transparent. I wasn't having the conversation, because I was doing everything to just hold on to the relationship, right? And that's why love isn't enough, because you do have to know, like, what it's rooted in, right? So the relationships I was in, it was rooted in, I'm so in love with the thought of being in love, right, that it at some point it's not going to work, because at some point, I wasn't loving me, and I wasn't being myself, right? I was dimming my light, I was dimming my voice. But the other side of it too is, and I think, and maybe I just believe this, so I'm not saying this is everyone, but I truly believe men know, they feel confidence, right? They, even when you think you are showing up as the most confident, most whatever, they can feel that there's a little level of self-esteem missing, or like they and I'm not gonna say intentionally grab on it, but they're gonna recognize, yo, you know what, I could show up anywhere I want, because this girl just happy to be here with me.
But you know what? And if you
they do. They do.
Yeah, but if you meet the right type of dude, and he senses that, he will try to build that in you, right? Because I know it. Like, you encourage, you build, you push up. But the problem is that, like, if you're hiding who you are, by him doing that, he's saying, I see you.
Yeah.
And if you're in the mindset of hiding, that's conflict right there.
Yeah.
Because now he sees you.
Yeah, because we don't want to be exposed.
And you don't want to be exposed, right? So even though he's doing good by you, you're not going to accept it.
Mm-hmm. And that's why you got to do the work on your, like, I had to do the work on myself, right? Because I had to come to the realization that, all of these relationships are not work. Like, girl, there's something you got to fix. Right? And I think in some cases, we don't want to do the work.
It's too hard.
And it's hard.
Let's be honest. Like I told you, right? Even right now, there's a concept that women have called what? The soft life. Mm-hmm. You ain't never gonna hear no man talking about soft life. So we are used to doing work. We know it. We got to do the work. So like that's why you see there's this process in this stage where men are actually healing. Men are actually trying to fix their issues, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying women aren't. What I'm saying though is that men are used to the work.
No, speak on it. Stay there.
You know what I'm
Stay
saying?
there.
So we will get that. We will go out and we will, oh man, dang, yeah, I'm dealing with something from 5 years old. I got to go through this, you know, get through the next phase because there's something, I'm not saying that women don't have this, but from a man's perspective, men want to be better. They want to be a better version of themselves. They want to be a better version of themselves from yesterday. So there is this constant thing called work that we do each and every day. If I'm doing 20 push-ups today, I want to do 21 push-ups tomorrow. You get what I'm saying? And it's hard. But when I notice in my anecdotal experiences, women want the easy route. They want the thing that doesn't require as much hard work. So if it means looking in the mirror means that I'm not going to like what I see and I got to put a lot of work in, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to find the guy who's going to deal with what I'm giving. You get what I'm saying? And if I so-called happen to have a good man that doesn't deserve this, I'm going to push until he leaves. I'm going to stay because doing this hard work is too much work. And I don't want to do that. So I'm going to scapegoat it. I'm going to blame him. I'm going to put it all, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to do all this work. I'm going to do all this work here to avoid the real work. And I'm looking like, but you're still working. You're putting your energy in the wrong space. If you took all the energy that you took to flip the scenario, to flip the narrative, to do all this, to continue to have your attitude and all the other negative things, if you took that, all the energy you put into that, and actually flipped it and put it into actually building, you will walk away so much happier.
And it's so, and I will tell you from experience, it is so freeing. Like it is tough. I'm not gonna lie. Like when you really are honest with yourself, right? Like you're doing the work to the point where you are honest with yourself. Like you are like the amount of tissues that my therapist probably would want to charge me for, right? because like you're sitting and you're crying because you're realizing that, damn, some of this crap I've been dealing with is because of the choices that I made. It's because of the work. Like when you go through it, it is the hardest work ever, but it is so freeing on the other side.
It is.
It is so freeing on the other side.
But you know, we a lot of us as women, we were not taught to do that kind of work. We were not taught about the importance of our inner content. A lot of us were taught that all you have to do is be pretty, long hair, you know, light skin, size 6 or whatever. You know, I mean, that's not my story, but it's okay because I'm dope as I am, you know. I'm just saying, you know, Team Thickums is what we do. You know, because I just lost myself. I get excited when I start talking about thick people. Okay, so back to that. Right, you know what I'm saying? It's like, the world is waking up. We've always been dope, okay? But the world is not waking up to us. So, you know, okay, we're going to give y'all a little time to catch up. I know that was last week's show, so I'm going to stick to this week's show. But a lot of the problem is that we were not taught as women about the inner content that we had in order to be chosen by a man and maintain a relationship with a man. You know, it was all about exterior, not interior. And then when we were taught about the importance of the interior content of who we are, it was in a combative way because, and I am not anti-woman, but it started with the women's movement. That's when we were starting to be taught about now you don't need a man, and you can and focus on your education and get your own house, and those things are wonderful, and there's nothing wrong with
I
what
need a
was
man. I'm just gonna say it.
you know. Oh,
Like
do I need to?
listen.
I will put both hands and my feet up. I promise you, I will. I will stick my pedicure toes up on this camera. Don't make me, okay? Listen. Look, I'm tired. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know about no other. I'm tired. I don't want to be the man. I don't. I love men. I would love to have one. Baby, you got it. Be the king. We do all the things. I am your number one cheerleader. Yo, I got your back. I will cut somebody's pinky toe off. Take their eyebrows out with a toothpick.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? But it's crazy that we as women were not taught the importance of that inner content until it became self-sufficient for us. It was never about becoming that so that you can partner with a man properly. Now, I say for me, I had the benefit, of my dad teaching me in a different way. He taught me to be independent. He's like, a man is not always going to be around. However, no man wants to go away and leave a woman who is insufficient and cannot take care of herself. He's like, no man, if I have to go on a business trip, I don't need to be worried about whether you know how to turn the stove on or off and whether you can change the light bulb and whether you, he's like, that adds more stress to a man's life. When I'm home, yes, I ask me to do those things. But I need to know that you can handle.
If a woman also, let's say she couldn't do those things, but she could follow instruction, right? Yeah. Then I know that if I was away and something happened and I said, okay, baby, do A, B, C, D. I know you would do A, B, C, D. We're not going to spend the time on the phone fighting about why I'm telling you to do A, B, and C, and D, because I'm thinking about solving the issue. And whatever I'm away from home for, I got to deal with, right? So let me deal with this while you got it at home. This is what you need to do.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, like you said, it go back to that whole respect thing, right? Because this woman don't even respect this man to even, you're calling me with your problem, but you don't even respect me to solve it.
Yeah.
So it's frustrating.
Yeah.
It's frustrating, I'm sorry, Lady Dawn. I interrupted you. I apologize.
No, but I think it that is true.
No, you could.
I was gonna say, to the point that Dawn was saying, there was this shift to where, which is why there became a point where I stopped using strong woman, right? Because I was like,
because you're tired now. You're tired.
They're like, I was like, I'm not gonna use that word anymore because I think women kind of use that as, oh, I'm a strong woman, I don't need, and it just, the connotation behind how some women use it just takes away again from the dynamic that is needed to really build a true partnership.
Correct. What do you think, and both you ladies can tell me, what do you think about the biblical concept of stating that the woman is the weaker vessel? Because I don't think that's dealing with.
I love that question.
Either. Yeah, I don't think that's dealing with weakness either. It's kind of like if you get a box when it says you got something really precious in that box and it says fragile, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that what you have inside that box is not precious, right?
No.
It's very valuable. It's very precious. But if not handled properly, right?
It means handle with care.
Correct. Handle with care, right? So
yeah.
I thought you said
I just had this conversation. I did. I'm sorry. It just popped out. I just had this conversation with one of my male friends who's the pastor, and we were talking about like positions of like first lady, things like that, And so we started talking, and so we got on that particular scripture too. And I said, I love it. And he's like, I need you to teach women. I was like, no offense, ladies. Okay, well, I already say what I say anyway, so it ain't gonna shock nobody. I was like, I don't even like women. I was like, I don't like us. I love us, but I don't like us. I said, I don't think you want me to teach your women. I said, because I promise you, they're not gonna like me. I promise you. So I guarantee it. And the reason is this: I said that scripture in that verse. I said, why do we get so offended? No one called you weak. I said, it's not in what's said, it's the that you are hearing it. I said, it says weaker. It does not mean that you are weak. We were made as the help meet, the meaning the suitable one to support. Why would God give Adam someone who was not suitable to support him in his weakness? Just because I make up the difference. I make up the difference in your life.
But you said
I make up.
The key was
right.
The perception, how the women perceive hearing that scripture.
Right. Right.
That's
and I'm like, we have to stop hearing it. And I'm like, no one, and this is a matter of unlearning and relearning. No one, God made nothing weak. Not one thing that God made is weak. As small as an ant is, ants lift more than most people. They get work done.
Annoying as all get out.
But look at what they accomplished. But you know what I'm saying? Something so small. So what did he make weak? I'm like, if we are made in his likeness and in his image, and not being preachy, y'all, but I told y'all I'm a God's girl, so you're going to get a little Jesus when you get me no matter what. But it is not about us being weak. It's okay to be weaker than him, because then he is your strength. I make up the difference. Who wants to be strong all the time?
Exactly.
Nobody. And that's the problem. We don't know how to rest in our feminine space or our femininity, which does not mean that we are weak. There is strength. Child, have a baby. I don't know a woman who has been pregnant and gave birth that is weak. To handle I know my labor pains. It's something I can't even, like, I couldn't even cry. I don't know what these women's out here screaming and carrying on for, ma'am. I don't have the energy that I need, But I'm saying, but the strength that you have, where is the weakness? So we have to stop being combative over positions with men.
Correct.
We have to stop. Like, you're supposed to be beside him, not behind him, but guess what? If I need to get behind you, I don't have a problem with it. I don't have to humble myself.
We're there to protect, right?
Exactly.
We're there to guard. We're there to move things out the way, right? If we were walking in the crowd, are you gonna walk side by side or right behind me?
Now, I love when a man holds my hand, lead me through the crowd. Child, go first. I'm like, listen, that's another.
Even when I grew up with men like cousins, like I said, cousin, brother, whatever. Where if I'm walking and I'm on the outside, like, it was nothing for them to grab me onto the inside, right?
Yep.
And I didn't get offended, right? Because I'm like that.
No, I pay attention to that.
I pay it, like, to me that was like, okay, I know that they're putting me there because for a reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like if I'm out and we're in a crowd, right? It's like, yo, stay close, right? I got your hand. I want to make sure you're
right behind me.
Yes.
Right there.
Yep.
One hand right there. Let's go to
the
crowd.
Yeah. That's what I'm about.
Right
there. That gets you a whole. It'd be a good night. It'd be a good night.
Like,
but
those are things that I appreciate. Opening my car door.
But like, when you sit back and you think about the concept of weakness too, correct me if I'm wrong, I may have the scripture wrong too, but I thought God said that even his strength is made perfect in our weakness too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like,
that's correct. That's
I think that a lot of times in our relationships, especially in Black relationships, right, we're dealing with power struggles, right? And those power struggles are what's really hurting us. So I'm not comfortable letting this person have power over me because it may seem like I'm weak, or I may see this person's love, care, and protection as controlling.
Mm-mm.
And you can't control me. I'm not weak. So why are you trying to control me? You get what I'm saying? I think a lot of
Mhm.
these, the power struggle, the concept of weakness, like you said, you listening to that scripture and you saying that, no, the scripture didn't say you were weak. It said that you needed to be handled with care,
Yeah.
because you're not meant to feel some of the things that the other piece of you is meant to feel.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
And what
Like this,
problem? Like,
Like
say again.
yeah.
I want you to change my
But
tire. And there are
it's women.
things that I want you to do. It's not that I can't do it, but I want you to do it. I want somebody to have to. I don't want to always be the one that has to make the decision, right? I want
And
somebody
you know
that
what?
I could maybe talk. We could talk it through, right?
You know what? You know what? You know what I hate the most? I hate a person that wants to usurp authority and feel so in
Mhm.
control, but then when they're finally put to the test, go ahead, make the decision. They sit back. Oh, I don't know what to do, or they just make horrible
And
decisions, right? And then you
Yeah.
come in and you start trying to fix things. Then they got the nerve to point and be like, "Oh, well, look at what you did. Oh, you did this
Yeah.
wrong, or you did that." You know, like I tell my kids sometimes, I'm like, you know what? Dad doesn't always know the right answer, but dad knows that action has to be taken,
Yep.
that something has to be done. So dad steps in and does what he believes needs to be done, whether I know if it's right or wrong. Sometimes that's the price of leadership. You
Yeah.
have to make a
Mhm.
decision sometimes. And sometimes you got to say no decision needs to be made, whatever the case may be, but it's still a decision. And I think, men know that the weight of that is on their head, because whether things are right or wrong, it's always going to be the man's fault. We're built
Yeah.
in this society to feel that way. I wish that wasn't the case, but that's what we're built to feel,
Yeah.
like regardless, whether right or wrong, failure or success, you know, it's all on our hands and on our head, you know?
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
and
But I
it's
I
a
believe that.
job.
yeah.
But I believe that
I,
that's how, fortunately, that's how it was designed to be, and with that is why y'all have the strength that you do. With that is why you men develop the way that they do. It's not going to look the same, and women, we have to learn how to this. If you can't trust your partner, then that's not your partner.
nope.
Correct.
Even
At
in
all.
even in what may be, I didn't want to say even wrong, but even with what may not go the way it is planned, when it's your partner, you are never going to attack him in a way that belittles him by the choice that was made or the action that was taken that didn't turn out that way. Your
Yeah.
initial response, because again, what's love got to do with it? Because I love you, I'm not here to hurt you. Because our relationship is founded on the love and respect and regard we have for each other. I already know that you're hurting and beating yourself up about being disappointed that this did not happen as intended. Why would I come and add gasoline and another big lighter to the flame that you're already going through? No, my job is to now come and cover and comfort you, speak life back into you. Baby, that's okay. You know what? Let's go to bed. Tomorrow be another day. We don't even have to talk about it today. Look what you did do. Look at the, you know what I'm saying? You find a way to speak life into him because you already know he's already mapping it out in his mind. And if you do not think of the man in your life that way, then that's not your man. If the first thing that comes out of our mouth is adding fuel to that fire, again, that's number one. I don't respect you. Number two, I don't care anything about your feelings, and love is not involved.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I agree. Like if you are constantly tearing your partner down instead of building them up, right, then you need to think about whether or not this is like it. I was watching some show, some old sitcom, and the girl was like, I don't agree with this, but I support you. I don't agree with this, I don't support you. I don't. And then the guy said, so what do you like about me?
Mm-hmm.
And I was and it's that, right? Like if you have more negative things to say about your partner, or if you feel like you always are picking apart who they are or how they move, then you need to think about that. Is this my partner?
And I would even venture to say this: the person on the other end that's being picked apart consistently needs to also recognize that
Mhm.
that's not their
The
partner.
partner, exactly.
They need to,
And
you know
be
what I'm saying?
okay.
Because
Be okay with coming to
Yeah.
if everything you're doing, the person that's in your life has an issue with every movement you make.
Mhm.
If you move you rub your jaw a certain way, they got a problem with
Mhm.
it. You know,
Yeah.
if you stop to speak to an elder or a youth person, they got a problem with it.
Mhm.
Anything you're doing, they have an issue with any and everything you're doing. That person is not your person,
Nope.
you
At
know?
all.
And unfortunately, you may have already built a life with this person, may have children with this person,
Mhm.
all of that case. You just got to find your way to either exist in it or get out of it.
Yeah.
But you need to
yeah.
recognize that that person is not your
Not
person.
your person. Yep.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that is
Because
why some of
And
it, some people are like 20 years in and it's over, right?
yeah,
Because now they're like, I've been living this for so long that I can't do it anymore.
yeah. I mean, it is. It is.
I
It is.
feel like-
I'm sorry.
no, go ahead, babe.
No, no. All I was going to say was that it's taxing. I get it and I understand it, but you need to understand that if a person loves you and respects you, care, and is reciprocating,
Yeah.
is there for you, they're there to see you progress, to see you succeed, to see you be happy. Like your happiness makes me happy, and
Yeah.
hopefully vice versa, right?
Yep.
So if that person and everything they're doing is picking and nagging and they don't love you,
Nope.
they may love what you do for them or what you bring for them, or they may even just like it. They may even tolerate
Mhm.
it, but they don't love you. And that's why I said too, like, it's not just about love too, because
Nope.
they can say out of their mouth love you, but people got different definitions of love.
Mhm.
So they can say I love you, and
Exactly.
they can really in their heart believe they love you. But if they're doing that to you, they don't love you. If they're breaking you down in everything they do, they don't love you.
You know? Yep.
You know, if they're not thinking
I'm
about
always
you,
I'm big
makes
on
you happy, nah.
Yep.
So we got to learn
I'm
certain
never
things.
gonna show up in a person to take away from,
Nope.
like you said, that point of happiness.
Yep.
If I can't add to your happiness, then I don't want to be here because I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna make you miserable for my
Nope.
entertainment purposes.
No,
Exactly.
I don't have that kind of
but you
time.
got to understand that type of person ain't nothing you could do can make that person happy because they already miserable.
Yep.
That person who is sitting there that gotta literally chew and pick and push and prod and burn and hurt and all that stuff, that person is miserable
Mm-hmm.
because happy people don't do that,
Yep.
right? People who are loving and caring and serving, they don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to They're going to lift you up. They're going to speak life into you. They're going to speak love into you. They're going to encourage you. They're not going to kick you when you're down.
Yep.
So that's what I'm saying. Besides love, character of a person, what type of person is that? Because love doesn't happen first. Attraction, infatuation, all those other
Mm-hmm.
things tend to happen first, right? Love,
Yeah.
love is built. So, what is the character of that person?
Mhm.
You know, that person you see. And that's why, like, going back to when we were talking about the dates, right? You need to be in different situations. You know, what came to my mind was, you ever see those rage rooms, they call them, I guess, or the break rooms, where you go in there, you're breaking
Oh, you
everything.
go and smash stuff up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like, go get some aggression out, go do some things, right? Be in different places, ask probing questions. And if you're in a relationship, or you're meeting a person, or you're getting to know a person, and they got a problem with you asking questions, run, run,
Mm.
run. Because you gotta be able to ask questions. You got to be able to ask those probing questions. You got to be, because the only thing that's going to give you truth is time, right?
Yep.
So if you don't have a
Right.
lot of time, you need to be asking questions. And I don't think there's any question that's off the table if you're thinking about it being with somebody. I think you need to
Yeah,
ask every question.
I agree.
Not in my book. I'm gonna tell you, first of all. I'm gonna tell you. I might not even give you the opportunity to ask,
You're gonna
just
give
because
me
I'm
nobody
gonna
to think
tell
of
you.
it.
What,
Give me the answer,
sir?
right?
Listen, this is what I do. This is how I am. This is what my mood is. This is, I'm gonna let you all that stuff up front. You know, because those are the real trying things. Those are really where the challenges and the hurdles are. Like when any of us are in our good space, we good. You know,
Yep.
it's not. The thing is this, and getting biblical. You know, so God gave Christ. Jesus came out of love, right? Because of
Mhm.
love, out of his love for his father, and out of his love for God's creation, which is us, right?
Mhm.
God gave Jesus also because he says, John 3:16, God so loved the world that he gave, right?
Mhm.
So, with that being said, and because whatever your moral compass is, y'all use it. But for me, it's Jesus. You know, it's God, it's Jesus, the Holy Spirit. That's my thing. So what we have to understand, or what I've learned to understand, and when it comes down to love, is that we use it in the wrong way. And when we think of what's love got to do with it, it is not the butterflies, it's not the excitement, it's not all the wonderful euphoric moments. None of that. When God gave Jesus to die for us, when Jesus went to the cross for us. If you're a believer, you know what I'm saying. If you're not, it's okay. Just rock with us. Now, it was not when everything was well with the world. It was not when everything was wonderful and obedient. When was it? It was when all hell broke loose and we could not fix it for ourselves. And
Yep.
there needed to be a resolve, right? So love is what motivated. That's what it had to do with it. What does love have to do with this? It was in the worst moments that love was applied through the actions. So
Yep.
and I'm saying this today related to relationships, love is what you need when all hell breaks loose. That is when you apply love in your relationship. And then you let love do what love does, which is what? Cover the multitude of sin. Love is the gap filler. That is when I can't love you on my own, I have to take God's love. And this is where grace comes in. This is where the mercy comes in. This is where the patience comes in. This is where the tolerance comes in. And it's not always about God, fix my partner. No, Lord, fix me so that give me, expand me, increase me, help my capacity to be able to manage and navigate this situation that is uncomfortable to me because I don't have it of my own. But I'm what? Y'all know my line. I'm committed to the commitment that I made to never leave this person. So it's no longer my liking of you that is a factor. I'm doing this. I'm stretching my capacity because I love you, and I'm letting that love cover us through this till we can come out together. Because I'm not leaving you on this side of the problem. You know, we in this together. If you don't make it, I don't make it. If I don't make it, you don't make it. And quitting is not an option. You know, failure is not an option. So for me, having that mentality about love now, and that took a lot of failed relationships and a marriage, to understand. There was a point in my marriage, honestly, when it came down to, getting divorced and whatnot. And I was like, when his new wife and I had a conversation like many years ago, and I told her, and she'll tell anybody, because y'all know our story, y'all know we cool and whatnot. And I said, I need to explain to you that there was nothing in our marriage that could not be fixed. There was nothing that happened. Yes, there's something that happened that was very traumatic, but there's nothing that wasn't forgivable. I said, I did not have the ability. I didn't know how to stay. And so it was unfair for me to stay in a situation and continue punishing someone. You know, it wasn't for a lack of love. It was for a lack of capability. I didn't have it at that time. And, you know, God had to show me the correct for that. You know, the again, I'm reformed, you know, and that's where my love was applied. You didn't have it. And this is new for you. Why did you think you were supposed to have all the answers? You didn't know what marriage was going to be like. You didn't know what this relationship was going to be like. You didn't know what was going to be required. You know, the Bible says when a man builds a house, he counts it. What man builds a house without counting up the cost? In marriage and in relationships, we can't always count up the cost because we don't know what issues we're going to encounter.
Exactly.
But what we can do is make sure that we know how to love one another through it, and and this is where I gotta love you more than I love myself. You know, because we are and we're one. So again, I can't leave you. Like I said, my next relationship was like, we ain't quitting. Like we just not. Because I didn't come this far just to come this far and be like, listen, we just gonna have to be loved. Just be mad. You know, I'ma just have to be mad. You know, just I'm just look. Just let me be it. I'm still gonna touch toes with you when we lay down. You know, I might not hug you, but I'm gonna let my toe touch your toe, and I'll be all right in a little while. But I feel like we just have to stop quitting on each other. You know, unless it's something that we really can't fix. You know, and the foundation of our relationships. This is why I feel love is so important as part of the fabric of the foundation. But like Moose said, it's not everything.
Love
There's
is
other things that you have to.
Love ain't Disney.
I have to take that back. And I still believe what I believe, and Theo, I'm sorry. I just want to say this, like,
Yeah.
but your explanation of when love even like kicks a gear in even more, I think that was amazing. That was beautiful. The only thing is, it's like what I'm having a hard time with, and maybe this is just my journey, right? Is I don't think there's some people that's worth that. I just
You're right.
I've come to a point in my journey where, yes, sir, come on. I come to a point in my journey where I don't believe that, like when you recognize that person doesn't love you, doesn't respect you, I believe you can't give them that.
Yeah.
Or you shouldn't. And again, I could be wrong. I'm still healing. I ain't telling you I'm fully healed. Good job. I ain't telling you
no, that makes sense.
No, but that's real. That's real.
But that is love of self, which is still applicable. And sometimes with that, you can love someone enough to let them go. Because when you see it for what it is, again, because that's what I did. I loved you and let you go. I also knew that this was not where I was supposed to be to begin with. So, so it fell apart the way it needed to. And there is a point in time when you've done all that you can do. Yes, love yourself enough to recognize it and to detach, like you said, gracefully, like you said, because sometimes people are not worth that. The situation is not worth that. But even that is a form of love showing up.
Yeah. I think you need to know what you have the capacity for.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely have to know what you have the capacity for.
And see, and here's the crazy part, right? For me, I believe I have the capacity to love through anything. But what has shown me, though, is that in doing that with the wrong person, it makes me feel like I don't love myself, right?
Yeah.
And okay, all right. Excuse me. Sorry about that. All
But
right.
I think that's a good point, right? Because you not only have to know what you have the capacity for, but you have to know what they have the capacity for, right? Because you could pour, but not everybody is ready for the love that you have to give.
Yeah. I mean, in the
But
Bible,
even in your pouring,
in the Bible, I think it tells us a couple things, right? We heard the guard your heart part, right? But we
Yeah.
also heard don't take your pearls and give it to swine, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah, and you have to use what is applicable in the moment, and it's not being hypocritical or any of that. There's a basic reality in life. It's just a basic reality where there are biblical principles, yes, but there's also basic reality. And you apply those biblical principles to your basic reality. And like Theo said, then you understand your capacity to move forward. Now, you can love somebody through everything, through anything, and I feel the same way. So I know exactly where you're at. I am the chick who will ride till the end. The wheels fall off. I will find some toothpicks and sticks, until the bitter end. I will give more of me. I will sacrifice me for you. It's what happens. Does it feel good? No. I then I have conditioned myself to know how to go self-heal. Yeah. And it's a sacrifice that I had to learn how to stop doing, because that is not, God did not intend for us to love and not be loved.
Yeah. And I think for me it was also learning, right? Like you said, because I'm like that way. Like, I'm gonna love you hard. Like, I'm gonna keep going, whatever. But I had to get to the point, and this was part of my healing journey, is to recognize, okay, why are you going so hard? Right? What is your reason for just pressing so hard and trying to keep it? Because I think when you and that takes, like Moose said, right? We're always healing from something. So I'm not gonna say I'm completely healed, right? Like, I've done a lot of work and I'm in a much better space, right? But I know that when I do get back out there and I do start dating again, right, there are some things that I'm gonna have to be constantly checking for and looking for, because I don't want to fall back into those patterns that got me to the point where I needed to go on the healing journey that I went on, right? So that's why it's always important to recognize, right? And I think that's where the courageous vulnerability comes in. That's where the transparency comes in, right? And that's where it is actually recognizing, right? What do I have the capacity for? How much more can I give, right? Before I have to say, you need to walk away, because it's about loving yourself. Like, for me, it's always about, am I loving myself the way that I need to love myself, so that I'm showing up the way I want to show up for somebody else.
And I believe with that, like, one of the main things, and then we're going to wrap up, because, we be talking about this.
I was going to say, we almost here in how long? 3 hours.
I'm saying, I don't even, in my thought was, I was like, we're going to be on and off by 8:30. Lies I told to myself. I think we talk about courageous vulnerability. The first thing we have to do is be courageously vulnerable with ourselves. Yes. It has to start with you. Another thing, in like you said, in getting to that point of capacity and understanding and knowing what my capacity is, hold it, own it, and don't apologize for it. I'm not built to handle everybody's everything. Yeah. Like, I'm not, and don't feel guilty about it. It has to begin with me. And you got to know, once you do your work of healing, I don't want to put myself back in the position of the pain that I was once in. Love is risky, period. And that's fine. And you can take that risk in that journey, because there's no way to escape it. It is what it is. If you're going to love is risky, period. But it's worth the risk when you're willing to take it. I find that I know what it cost me to heal. And because I paid that price, I guard it very well.
Yeah.
No longer have to protect my peace. As people say, everybody's want to protect your peace. For what? I don't have to protect my peace. My peace has grown up. It is matured. It is a full adult, and it protects itself. And it protects itself by not even allowing me to get or put myself in situations that are going to compromise it. You know, and that's the same thing with the love that I have. I've learned, much like you, Theo, the same way, in that, you know, we love hard. I'm going to continue to love hard. I'm going to continue to come in loving at 100% capacity. That's where we're going to start off. Now, what you end up with is a different story. It's one of my teachers told me a long time ago in high school. So everybody comes in this classroom, you start out with 100. You're graded 100. I give everybody 100. You decide whether you keep that 100 or if it diminishes. So I'm going to love you at full capacity and full throttle from the beginning. You decide how much of that you maintain or how much you lose. Mm-hmm. You know, but we have to come to the point of understanding and really thinking about what love has to do with our relationships. Because some of us are satisfied with love not being a factor. It is a business transaction. And if that's the kind of relationship that you want and you have, that is fine and wonderful and no problem at all. To each his own. No, you know, there's no right or no wrong. But you can't want to enter into a transactional relationship and then later on wonder why there's no love. Mm-hmm. Wonder why there's no substance. Wonder why there's no emotion. Wonder why there's no intimacy and no emotional, you know, connection that is rooted in the relationship. Is because that's not what you founded it on. Yeah. You know, so it depends on which side of love you want to be on and how you view it. But listen, you gotta choose for you, you know, and I think that, you know, with Valentine's Day upon us, I'm just saying, you know, you might want to rethink who you buying them flowers for, or who you getting that chocolate for, or who you taking on the date, and who you doing. I'm an indoor girl right now. I ain't trying to be outside in the restaurants. So listen, Valentine's Day is too much. First, I don't think we're gonna be out of snow here until May. If I showed you,
y'all still have snow. Our snow can't melt it.
You didn't see the pictures that I put up of the parking lot at my job, as well as my parking lot where I live? Oh, I'm gonna send them to you. Yeah, we're not coming out to.
Let me tell you.
No, we ain't coming
out. Snow down here. That 10 inches we get, it's gone.
Like, I was on my way back from Jacksonville, driving through Georgia, North Carolina, and the amount of snow I saw, and people was like, stuff was closed. I was laughing. I was like, what? Y'all shut down
the whole state shut down.
It sure did. This is ridiculous. I was like, y'all wouldn't make it in New York. But I want to thank you guys for sharing in this conversation tonight. Juggling said, like, why am I there? She goes, said, yes, the restaurant's gonna be girl. I don't have no patience to be out. Listen, let's stay home and cook. Let's Netflix and chill, or, you know, do something. But we'll go out another time. I can't do overcrowded situations. Like, don't take me out on Mother's Day. Don't take me out. Like, just don't do it, because I ain't going. I'm like, because it's not safe. Because people in the temperaments, I know me. It's like, no. If I can't be in a corner by myself where it's quiet without extra, no, thank you. It's all right. We'll go another time. But this has been amazing. Per usual, again, you never know where Thursday nights are going. So, you know, they always go where they need to go. And I'm glad that we always say what needs to be said. I know that there was nuggets and gems and jewels that were deposited on tonight. And we hope that we've given you something to think about as you consider in your relationships. Don't just hook up because it's Valentine's Day. It's one day. Listen, let the day come and let it go. But make sure that if you do link up, let it be with someone that you love. And first of all, let that first person that you love be you.
Yes.
Regardless. You don't need anybody to flowers. You don't need anybody to take you out. You don't need anybody to do that. Love you first. Because I guarantee you, you will teach people how to love you by the way you show up and loving yourself.
Amen.
Period.
Yes.
So,
amen.
I'm gonna let you. Theo, leave your final thoughts and comments, and Moose, leave your final thoughts and comments. And listen, y'all, because I don't know what's going on my laptop, so I don't have any exit music for us. I could sing if you want, but I'm not gonna do it because I'm just not. I can with us next Thursday.
I will just share something that, my therapist said to me, like when I was going through my healing journey, that I will never forget. And that was sacrifice does not equal, no, support does not equal sacrificing yourself. And that stuck with me. When just sharing her, and she said, she was like, support does not equal sacrificing yourself. And so that's what I will say.
Keep that in mind. Come on, voice of God.
All I want to say is that you got to learn to love yourself first too.
Mm-hmm.
Right along with that. Just piggybacking off of Theo, support does not mean you have to, sell yourself or not be there for yourself, right? A lot of times, at least from my perspective in relationships, we have you have either the wolf or the sheep, and sometimes the sheep tends to give themselves as the wolf is biting and gnawing. The sheep continues to give themselves, hoping that the wolf will realize and change its skin, but it doesn't happen. So love yourselves, and wait for the right love.
Yes.
Wait for the right love.
I love that. It's coming. It's coming. And I just want to say, love matters in all relationships, as it reflects the power of emotional connection. So it's very necessary. And love is a major factor in all of our lives that every one of us is looking for. So don't say that you're not, because we all know at the core of it all, we are. History shows that wars have been started over love, and all of all of the things.
Mm-hmm.
And if love wasn't important, there would not be such an attack or such an issue with us having healthy relationships. And the last thing I want to say is something that, Moose mentioned earlier. And make sure that you tune in with us next week, because the men are going to be here. I got some questions. I've got some questions. Okay. About a man's heart. We got to listen. But what I wanted to say is, he made the point of men are healing. Men are taking the time to heal. Ladies, we've been sleeping on them, thinking that they would never get to the point, and if we're being honest, that men would actually be taking the time to heal, show up healed, and expect something different because now they're healed. We are not ready, a lot of us, for the healed versions of the men that are emerging. We didn't have to do our work while they were doing their work. A lot of us don't know how to receive the healed man now, because we are still expecting. We got too comfortable with the broken version of them. So, ladies, I just admonish us to take a humble seat, do our homework, catch up. Catch up, because men are not playing. They're not trying. One thing about men, when they make up their mind is made up. Their no is no and their yes is yes. I don't care what man it is. There's no man I've ever known in my lifetime that will ever change their mind when they come to a conclusion. When they come to a decision, they will deal with the consequences thereafter. Yeah. But I salute our men for healing and ask you to please keep going. Ladies, again, this is not a criticism. It's just a simple fact. Mm-hmm. Let's do our work so that we know how to receive them, and so that we're not the squeaky wheel in the relationship, but we can be a balanced partner.
Yeah.
And we can learn to love each other as love should be given and received. So, with that being said, happy Valentine's Day, everyone. I hope you have amazing dates. I hope you have an amazing day. I'm still taking applications. Theo will figure out what that application looks like. She said, where can people fill out the application? I told her, I don't know. I just know I have one. Okay, I don't know. Douglas said, thank you.
I'll be doing the HR pre-screening for the application.
Okay, all right, so you know what? See, Theo, if you want to fill out the application, I'm still taking. I got one day to find a Valentine. Okay, Douglas said, don't forget to eat the chocolates. Listen, ladies, your men deserve flowers, chocolates, and gifts. And I don't mean to tie a spat. Don't do the Father's Day gifts on Valentine's Day. Love on the men. Let's love on our men folk, but for real, yeah. So y'all see Theo, her HR.
I prefer the chewy candies, not chocolate. So Mike and I ate Swedish fish.
Okay.
That's my stuff. Now don't play with those Swedish fish. Now don't play with it now. Okay,
You want to be like that?
Look, I'll be.
Theo want to be.
And I'm gonna be right up in the corner of my bed underneath my little furry blanket, right along with him. I'm not mad at you, Theo. You know, I mean, I like some chocolate, but that's a different story. But yeah, we could get some Swedish fish. That's okay. Y'all don't pay me no mind. I am so happy and free today. I don't know what's going on. It's just so y'all hit up Theo. She's gonna be my. It is. You know, it freedom feels good. Joy feels amazing. Happiness is incredible, and I plan on staying in this very place and just letting it grow all the more. So again, you guys have an amazing Valentine's Day. Join us on Thursday for the men in the house. Gonna share and talk questions. I'm telling you, I'm coming with my notebook and my pen. And we're going to have a good time and let the men lead as men should. So everyone have a great night. And again, I'm sorry. I can't give y'all no exit music. I can give you but tonight on this very mic. You have already heard, we swear, the best podcast of the year. So cheerio. Y'all scream bravo. I know y'all still here. Already know that this is Dawn B and the Thursday Night Squad show. All right. And we are nominated for the best podcast of the year on the BB Online. Oh, okay. Yes. I didn't do it by myself, everybody. I said we are. So continue to tune in, share, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you all again on next week. Good night, everybody.